nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You ever be in a position, you ever find yourself in a position where if you actually say less, you're saying more? Callers, it's going to be your time. The only thing I ask is try not to curse a lot. We're going to give it to the callers. This opens up. You guys, thanks for being here. People trolling me, I deserve that. Go ahead, bring it. Seriously, everybody that's here to troll, totally fair. Bring it, dump it. I don't care. It's deserved. It's totally fine. So anybody that's here from another team, I see the LSU people here, whatever, I don't care. Troll away. I deserve it. Notre Dame deserves it. Freeman deserves it. We all deserve it. Go ahead and troll. We all just go ahead. The question I have is, where do you go now? Because this is a part of the equation that never had an input into the equation. This is so far off the reservation that I don't know where you go. That's where this is. This is so far off the reservation of reasonable outcome possibilities or whatever. I don't know where you go now. I don't know where you go now. This, thanks for the super chats and rough circumstances. I'll get to those, and then I'm going to let the callers. This is a part of why I do the call-in show. Let people vent. The problem is I don't know where you go from here, because this one, no matter how you draw out the season or the high end or the low end, or this might happen, or you might lose here and you might win here. And what does this do? Or what is it? This is the one that it was not even on the map. It wasn't even on the map. I'm completely, you guys, we looked like the worst football team I've ever seen in my entire life. We didn't do anything right all day. I don't understand. We didn't do anything all day. We didn't do anything. Your good defense. What happened to your good defense? Oh, you got a good defense. Oh, idiot John sitting there all week going, if you got a good defense, it comes to play every week. Well, not this week. What happened to that good defense? And here's the other thing, too. Oh, Johnny needs a few minutes, and then we're going to do all this other stuff. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm glad I got a half hour of making fun of Michigan in before my life went down the crapper with them. At least I got 1 week of being happy, you guys. Give John credit. I had 1 week of not being a miserable person. Good job. I had 1 week of being happy in my life. So good job for John. I got those 6 days in, and now we're back to reality. Listen, here's the thing, man. how do you, how? Here's the other thing. They have one main player. They have one main player, and you let him go for 786 yards through the air, running the ball. They had one good player, like one NFL guy, and you couldn't stop that one guy all day. You couldn't. They have one guy who's awesome, and you let him dance around you all day through the air, on the ground. He absolutely crushed us. One guy. They have one dude that everybody had circled up. Don't let anybody else beat you but this Brown guy. And what did you do? You let Ontario Brown clown you all the way to Ontario. Absolutely unbelievable. So keep it coming. Everybody trolling me. Go for it. I deserve it. Give it to me. Give it to me. Me saying this team's got it together this year and they have leadership and they're ready to play different and whatever. And all this stuff. You want to know what else is funny? Somebody wrote in the chat, Brian Kelly would win this game. Yeah, but he would have lost the one last week. Like, we just can never get it right. Like, if you want to say Brian Kelly would have won this one, fine. But everybody knows he had no chance with Notre Dame of winning the one last week. So you end up 1-1 either way, then. Like, that's the funny part. That's the funny part. But I'm just happy for myself that I got 5 days of being happy. And we're back to being miserable again. We're back to being miserable again. I don't know what you do. I don't know where you go. This one is so far off the map. I don't even know where to start. This is so far off the reservation of like potential outcomes. It's so far off the reservation that I don't even know where to go. Did they not listen? Let me ask a question. Callers, hang on. I want to give you guys your chance to vent. We all need it. How much of this do you credit to an emotional and physical hangover from A&M or whatever? Or do you just think that's all one big excuse and they overlooked NIU and thought you could roll the ball out and just beat them? Like that, I'm trying to play that in my mind. How much of it is, you're feeling it. You gave all your energy and all your stuff to A&M and now you're running on empty and whatever. Is that BS to you guys? Do you think there's any credibility to that or not? That you put all that emotional and physical, everything into that moment and then now you're running on empty or whatever? Or you got completely outcoached and completely outplayed and out-efforted all day, out-schemed. You got out everything except for embarrassed. You got out everything today. Everything. Effort, big plays when you needed them. And you know what else? Here's what I'm really struggling with too. Last week, it was like, hey, Freeman, good job. You got the guys ready to go on the road and win this big game, and now you're number 5 and everything. Good job by Freeman building up camp, getting these guys ready and everything. But then now a week later, everybody's saying fire Freeman. The chat's full of fire Freeman. He sucks. But last week, the chat was full of he got his stuff together, and the guys played a great game and won this one now. And then 6 days later, it's fire Freeman. But this leaves you in... There's no good direction moving forward when you do this. And I don't know what it is, you guys, whether it's Kelly or whether it's this regime. Notre Dame keeps playing this. I tweeted this. Notre Dame keeps playing this exact game. Notre Dame they keep playing this exact game against these type of opponents. Like, Andrew, I don't know what you want me to say, buddy. I guess you're right. Everybody's horrible, and you're right all along. Like, last week, we were all happy, giving them credit. Now they're the worst staff in the world. What is the reality? I know we're all frustrated. I'm just saying, what is the reality? Last week, the staff did a great job and won all those matchups and whatever. And now this week, they're the worst staff in the world? What is the reality? I don't know the answer. What is the reality? They really did put together a good plan and everything and execute it last week. Is the reality in the middle? Or is this so far off the reservation that it pulls everything down and you just lose all that credibility from that A&M win? You keep playing these games, Notre Dame. You just keep on doing it. And you gotta, at what point do you not know the situation you're in, that everybody's gunning for you and all these small schools look at a chance to go to big Notre Dame Stadium on NBC and embarrass you and ruin your season? Does that or did they literally just think, roll the ball out there, it's Northern Illinois, we're going to win? And the other thing, people are nailing Riley Leonard here. People are nailing Riley Leonard. And I don't know what you do there. Like, they're going to say he gives you the best chance to win every week and whatever. All the people that want a different quarterback, what do you think the odds are they're going to do that and not just be like, whatever, he's our quarterback, gives us the best chance to win, whatever. And here's the other thing. I got to ask this. I got to ask this. And I'm not the X's and O's guy. You all know I'm not the X's and O's guy. I never claimed I'm the X's and O's guy. Let me ask this. It looked like on a bunch of these plays, Leonard was dropping back to throw. And my question is, can none of these guys get open downfield against Northern Illinois' defense? Or can Leonard just not find him and throw the ball? Is that it? I want to know what you guys think the answer. There was a lot of those dropbacks where he's back there and either nobody got open or he didn't see him, or maybe I don't know. But how can that be against Northern Illinois? Oh, all the beat writers told me the Notre Dame wide receiver group's going to change the whole narrative this year or whatever. I did not see them getting open down the field, creating separation enough in this game against Northern Illinois. And also Riley Leonard, you can't make a couple of those mistakes. You just can't. You can't. And I can't bring Riley Leonard, I can't bring you here as an upperclassman guy with experience. And I bring you here to lead this team as a one-year rental, and you make the mistake you made that lost the game. I can't have that. I can't have that, man. I did not bring you here on a transfer deal the last year or whatever. You're an upperclassman guy, and for you to underthrow that ball in that moment, I can't live with that, man. I can't live with that. And you're getting all that NIL money not to do that, bro. I genuinely don't understand what happened to this defense. I expected the offense to still be struggling to find its way through stuff, kind of. Callers, hang with me, please. You're going to get on the air. Hang with me. I need to vent a little bit. I expected that offense to struggle a little bit, just because they're still trying to find themselves and whatever, okay? And last week was a weird week. I expected them to struggle. Oh, Blake, you deserve it, buddy. You deserve it, buddy. Blake's here from AYS, and I've been riding him for a week about Brian Kelly. So I got it coming from you, Blake. Fair is fair, buddy. Fair is fair, Blake. So anyways, yeah, well, he's saying Brian Kelly needs to go. Brian Kelly ain't the answer to this problem. Apparently they both wouldn't win the game. Brian Kelly's no answer to this problem. He ain't the answer either. I need somebody who is. Anyways, I don't understand how that defense got so bad. Why were that defense was just it was like they were trying to not be in the right place to make plays today. I don't understand it. Are you telling me Northern Illinois with their veteran, remember they said, oh, all those guys are experienced offensive linemen. They got all these starts together, right? Whatever. Our defensive line can't get after Northern Illinois, their offensive linemen. You can't push around that front. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Can we get to the calls? Why don't I get to whatever I want to get to on my own show? How about you get to that? How about that? I got to do the super chats, then we'll bring it to the calls. I don't know where you go from here, guys. So that's my takeaway. This is so far. That's my big picture thing. This is so far off the grid of possible outcomes that I don't even know where to begin right now. And since the game just ended 5 minutes ago, my head is spinning. I don't know. I don't even know how you even start to like dig out of what this is. I don't even know how you start to dig out of what this was. Because it was beyond the worst case scenario. It was absolutely beyond the worst case scenario. You can't, and here's the other thing. I saw somebody put in here. I could just picture Blake sitting there typing, I'm going to get John on this week. I hate football and it hates me. I hate football and it hates me. It's perfect. Oh, it's so perfect, man. God bless everybody who does this to themselves. I don't know where you go from here, man. This is off the reservation. And so you got to redo, you got to start from ground zero, bottom, trust nothing, believe in nothing, rely on nothing. I trust nothing. All jobs need to be available now, like starting roles, whatever. Like there's no, all that talk about leadership on this team, getting the win last week and everything, and all of being proud of that and everything, and the upperclassmen people and everything. I don't know where you go. This is just, it's beyond the pale. But it really is. I'm not trying to negate. Listen, I understand the frustration. Blake, it's okay, man. I deserve it. Seriously, Blake. You know how this goes, Blake. You had to deal with it all last week. Now I got to deal with it. This is the business. This is how it goes. I deserve it. I deserve it. You can't. I'm really struggling with the Freeman piece of this, you guys. I'm really struggling with the Freeman piece of it. How could it be that 5-6 days ago, everybody was praising the guy, saying he finally got it together, and now he's horrible? I'm really struggling to figure out the correct level on that. Like the credit you get for A&M and then the minus credit you get for this, where does that put you overall? But the reality is, I saw somebody in here, callers, I'm coming to you. Somebody in here put, is this worse than the Marshall loss? This is 1,000,000% worse than the Marshall loss. That was year one, game 2. That was year 1. This is year 3. You cannot do this in year 3. Those, I can't even believe somebody asked if this is worse than the Marshall thing. You do this in year 3. What do you think this is? You can't do this in year 3. So now you got real issues. I don't even want to talk about anything. Like you need to go back to like, what is it? Playoffs. You want to talk about playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Literally, that is us. Literally, that is us. Okay. Playoffs. You want to talk about playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Literally. That is where this performance puts you at now is, I just hope you can win a game. And no one's going to have any confidence you can go to Purdue and do it. When you play like this, knowing they're capable of playing this bad and no showing this much at home, that's the other thing I want to punch myself in the face for. What about this? What about this? What an idiot I am. What an idiot. How about this? Oh, I can't wait for the team to come back home and all the fans are going to be excited for the first home game at Notre Dame Stadium. And you're going to have all that energy and everything from that. And the players are going to feed off that. And there's not going to be a lack of energy in the building and whatever and all that. What about all that? How long did that last? So people are saying Freeman's going to be fired. People are saying Riley Leonard needs to be benched. I don't know. I really have a hard time believing they're going to go, you know what, Riley Leonard, we gave you $2 million or whatever, and you played 2 games, you're out. Do you really think that's going to happen? All right, let's do some super chats. Dude, I tweeted this as well. I want some research institution, some medical research institution to do some longitudinal medical study, scientific study, and figure out how many years on average Notre Dame fans live less than the general population. Living this way is absolutely, it is like living this Notre Dame life is the equivalent of chain smoking 98 packs of Camel Lights per day. I swear to God, if you did the math, I would be better off not following Notre Dame with my whole life and just chain smoking, and I'd live longer. I guarantee it. It's bad for your health, bro. Smoke them if you got them. It's bad for your health. Dude, oh my gosh. All right, to the chats, and then we're going to give it to the calls. You guys, everything's on the table. That's where we're going to start with the calls and everything. Everything's on the table. Any questions you want to ask are fair. Anyone you want to throw under the bus deserves to be thrown under the bus. Me, the beat reporters, anybody that picked Notre Dame to win, the team, the players, whoever. Anyone, the ushers, anybody you want to throw under the table, it's totally fair. If you want to, all of it, just absolutely all of it. It's all fair. It's all on the table. That's the other problem with this, right? When you feel like Notre Dame's heading in a certain direction and you could kind of see the track, it all comes crumbling down in a nightmare cascade of Notre Dame-iness that you become used to if you're a Notre Dame person. Look at that. Always loser. Listen, you guys, I just have to take it. Always loser. I've seen a bunch of people type in always loser. I just have to take it. This is the way this goes. You know how many people messaged me and said, John, don't even go live because it's going to be bad for everybody. I can't do that. I was here last week wearing sunglasses, walking around here, drinking out of a gold freaking mug. I can't disappear now that we embarrassed ourselves again. I can't disappear now that we embarrassed ourselves. Maybe we should join the MAC. Unbelievable. All right, super chats, callers. We got a bunch of callers. Don't use the F word and try and go quick because we got a bunch of people that are miserable and want to talk. Maybe some people want to troll me and they want to call and make fun of me too. You could do that. You could do that. Steven, $5 holler. Here's a 5. I got nothing. Ryan, $5 holler. WTF. Fair enough. Wandering Data Geek, $10 holler. Told you I had questions about the preparation of Freeman last week. Totally humiliating. Should have pulled Leonard the second half. Don't anoint Savior before winning anything. Fire Freeman. All of this. Dude, the juxtaposition, you guys. The juxtaposition of all the articles I wrote and the episodes I did saying Freeman finally got his signature win in Notre Dame. And then 6 days later, 90% of the fan base wants to fire the guy. It's the most Notre Dame BS I could ever, literally, you can't make it up. It's so Notre Dame. It's so damn Notre Dame. You can't even make it up if you tried. It's so Notre Dame. 6 days ago, you're going, congratulations for this guy. He got a signature win at Notre Dame. Not even a week later, and everybody's saying he's got to go. It's unbelievable, this Notre Dame life. My word. $10 holler, CJ. Leonard is Hartman 2.0, not as good as people think. Time to put in Minchie or Carr. Angeli's the backup, so they're going to put Angeli in, and he doesn't have any mobility, but we're going to go with him anyways, and then Carr or whatever. Here's the other thing, you guys. Oh, my God, I just thought of this. What's going to happen when Deuce decommits and flips to Auburn in a couple? The rumor is that's coming in a couple days or whatever. Oh, that's going to be nice little icing on top of the cake here. Oh, baby, that's going to be a little chocolate syrup on your sundae there. Oh, my God, it's going to be a week in Notre Dame land, people. Crying belly, $20 hour. A&M was not all that we thought they were. Freeman's teams continue to struggle handling success. Think back to USC 23, 22 BYU and the performances that followed. Parker eats a team like NIU alive. It was an awful performance offensively, defensively, and you know what else too? You know I can't handle bad special teams. This Australian, here's number one, this Australian punter, I don't care how good looking he is. I don't care if he has 17 modeling contracts. I don't care. Where's these 70-yard kicks I heard all the beat guys at practice all August? Oh, the Australian guy, he pulls the ball out of his pouch and kicks it 80 yards. He can't kick it like 40 yards now with this little half kick he's doing. Where are these 70-yard huge kicks from this guy? He short legs everyone, and they're not going far enough. Here's the other one. You got 2 field goals blocked today. You ain't even real life, bro. You know I have a 0 tolerance for special teams mistakes. I got a 0 tolerance for special team malfeasance. And you're bad at it in the game. You couldn't be bad at it, and you needed to win. It's unbelievable, bro. You got 1 blocked, and then the other one was a 90-yarder to win the game at the end. And maybe you could say that one was a line drive because it had to be and it got blocked. But total fail across the board. Here's my brother. What does he think? I agree with you, brother. $10 hour for my brother Andrew. Probably question everything is completely fair. Everything's on the table. You can't do this in year 3, Marcus. Sorry. I don't know what that means for you. I don't know where we go from here, but I do know you can't do this in year 3. You can't do this in year 3. That's it. Marshall, year 1, second game, your quarterback gets hurt. You know, not your roster. We get it. You can't do this in year 3. And I'm not even ready to talk about like win the rest of your game, see where we're at. Like I've already seen a lot of that. Like you could still end up with 1 loss and make them. We're not there. Playoffs. You want to talk about playoffs? I just hope this team can win a game is as accurate as I could throw it out right now. $5 holler from Willie B. Hardigan. If you're a Notre Dame fan and you watch this, probably not is the answer to your name. Fire Freeman now, literally now in the locker room. Send Riley Ohm on a bus with his crap packed up from tonight. He could still keep the NIL money, but I needed that guy to deliver something, and this was not it. $5 holler. Yeah, another year, Johnny. I'm way heartbroken. You're my boy, Blue. I love you too, Martinez. You're my main man. Just one ND gal, $5 hour. It was Denbrock and Golden's mistakes, but ultimately, it's all Marcus's fault. $5 hour from Robert. John, this is karma we get for trolling all of LSU last week. Yeah, I know. It's totally fair. But here's the thing with that. There are so few opportunities in a Notre Dame person's life to actually feel like you have the leverage to be able to troll anybody in any given football scenario. I feel like I had to take advantage of it when I could. I had like a 2-day window there last weekend where I felt that I had the leverage justifiably to troll people. And I felt like I had to do it. I had to do it when I had a little bit of leverage. And I'm glad I did because now it's gone. Time to dunk on John. Dunk on John. Go for it. $5 holler, Ryan. Here's $5. Go ballistic so I could say I watched something ND related that was entertaining today. I'm telling you, it ain't fun. This Notre Dame stuff is not fun. Is there any Notre Dame fan that has fun when they watch a Notre Dame game? How could you? Is this fun? Was last week fun? I'm not talking about your reaction after the game. What the actual act of watching Notre Dame play football is not fun. It is nothing but stress my whole life. Oh, man. God help me. Guide me. Not through a table saw. Through life. Like, seriously, I need some help. I'm about to lose it. Chief with the $2. The Freeman era died today. Time to move on. It's amazing. It's amazing how 1 week ago, it was signature win, beat an SEC team, good leadership, good coordinators, good game plan. You executed it. You got a tough win. You're number 5. You're flying high. What did I say? Freeman finally found himself in a position ahead of the playoff curve. It lasted 6 days. I was proud that he finally won a game that positioned him ahead of the playoff curve. 6 days is all lasted. Question everything. Question everything. And you know what else I want to see? This media contingent, all the Notre Dame media and whatever, and the beat. I want to see how they approach this week. The post-game show and whatever this next week brings, the people that are in that building asking those questions or whatever, I want to see what angles they take and where this goes. Do they even just want an indie gal? Do they even continue the Peacock show? Seriously, Notre Dame, they're all about going all in on all the stuff that doesn't matter. Going all in on all the stuff that doesn't move the needle and doesn't matter. Who's in the mood to watch that Peacock show now? Do it. Cover Northern Illinois. They deserve it. And you know what else I want to credit Northern? Callers, I'm coming to you. I swear, I promise. You know what else I want to credit Northern for? There was number one moment in this game where I felt that they flinched or they were scared of the situation, intimidated by the environment, nervous or nothing fazed them. I'm so impressed with Northern Illinois' poise in this moment. Nothing bothered them all night, and they literally just kept playing. And when something we did that good, it didn't faze them, and they just kept playing good football. God bless them. They deserve this win. They out-coached you. They out-executed you. They out-schemed you. They out-efforted you. They out-everythinged you. And there's no excuse for it when you're in year 3 and you have this roster and this staff. I don't know where you go from here. I don't, because you got it. It's so, I hate to repeat myself. This outcome so far off the reservation of like within the window of expected outcomes. I don't even know what you do with it. I don't even know how you start to do anything with it. It's so far off the reservation. $5 hour, Saab Turbo. Riley's not the guy. Oh, I don't know what you do. So what do? Send him his $2 million and tell him go back to Duke? Or go hang out with Elko? $10 hour for Brendan. Angeli would have won this game. Defense played like garbage and still gave the offense every chance to score. Stevie Wonder could find the bathroom better than Riley throwing a ball downfield. I don't know how much of it is Riley Leonard. I don't know how much of it is we still don't have wide receivers that could get open and create space. It may be both. I got to rewatch it. I got to talk to Goolsby who looks at the film and I'll whatever. $10 hour. $20 hour from Tom Chris. Hey, John, nothing really to say other than this is a total and complete embarrassment. Give them L because they deserve it. I just appreciate the support. And I still want to see people. That's the other thing. Oh, wow. Everybody's going to be in a great mood to go to John's tailgate now. Wow. Whoa, wow. I can't wait. I'll bring the balloons. We'll have a party in the parking lot. You're going to be bad at football and ruin my plans too. Unbelievable. $2 hour. Anyone here say put Angeli in it out? Be honest. $10 hour, Carl. Freeman needs to evaluate, and a hard quotes tunes need to be asked of. I can't even read this, Carl. Embarrassing. Bad coaching. Riley's lost in space. I can read that part. Bad. And thank you for the donation. Bad. $2 hour from N.E. Davis. Can't blame Kelly Reese, Parker, or Pine anymore. You're right about that. It's on this regime, and it ain't pretty. The Saab Turbo, $10 hour. Listen, it's Leonard, and he is not it. It was quite the struggle. Andrew, you'll get your time, buddy. $2 hour. Dan, call Urban Meyer now. Give him a blank check. Oh, $5 hour from the wine and cheese. Legit past multiple people sobbing on the floor. Being a Notre Dame fan, it ain't for the faint of heart. $5 hour from Metro. Some hotels in South Bend just open up in December if you're all interested. I wrote that article in Sports Illustrated that right after the win last week, all the hotel prices in South Bend went up. It was like $1,200 for a crappy like Motel 6 room in South Bend the week that the playoff was supposed to be. in South Bend. And I think you could afford now, if you want to get a hotel room and go visit Granny in the greater South Bend area now. $2 holler from Phil. He's probably sick to his stomach. John Fitzgerald, triple option now. Thank you. $2 holler from Mike. You got marshaled again. Bro, here's the other thing. Do you know how much crap I took when I put out that short yesterday? Do you know how many people reached out to me and said, we're so far past that, I can't even believe you're worried about it? When I released that short and it said, and the title was, what could go wrong against NIU? The answer was, I said, don't Marshall yourself, don't Stanford yourself, and don't Toledo torpedo yourself. You did all the above. $2 holler. Hang in there, John. $20 holler from Rick. Get pissed, then regroup and go 11-1. No quit. Can they go 11-1? That's the problem, Rick. I really appreciate the donation, but that's the problem. If you're capable of being this bad, I don't know what I can rely on you for. If you're capable of coaching and playing this bad, I don't know how am I supposed to pick Notre Dame games moving forward this year? Think about it. You're going to Purdue next week. How in the hell am I supposed to make a prediction for Notre Dame and Purdue next week? I have no idea what you're going to get whatsoever at all in any way. You're going to get an A&M, your zoned in performance. You're going to get one like this or somewhere in the middle and you probably lose again. Unacceptable, man. $10 holler from Austin. Feel like we're starting to become a curse no matter what coach or QB or OC we have. I'm telling you, I have written on my notes. Notre Dame keeps playing these type of games against these type of opponents. We just keep on doing it. John, do you want to watch the docuseries now? I didn't want to watch it before. Notre Dame does really good on a lot of stuff I don't value right now. And here's the other thing too. I'm not letting anybody say that I'm just saying that now because I'm mad. I said that before the season started that I'm already annoyed and done with Notre Dame doing all the promo stuff that doesn't win you games. And that I'm not here for it. Fire the leprechaun. 36 years going on 37. Merch, thank you. $2 holler BBG. Fire the leprechaun. May as well. Or let him draw up some plays. Matthew, $5 holler. ND stands for nothing but dog bleep. What a bleep show. $5 holler. John Gruden's scumbag, but Notre Dame has hired those before. At least that one could coach. I want intensity. That tunnel hype ain't it, though. $5 holler. $10 holler. Never give up, never give in. Please get to the calls. I need to respect all the people that donated money to this show by reading their message. I'm sure you can understand that. I will get to the calls in a moment. But thank you for telling me how to produce my own program that I'm in charge of. $10 holler from Heather. I'm just the wife of a crazy ND fan and I have PTSD. How do you guys live this way? Miserably. That's how. Thanks, Heather. Miserably. $2 holler from John Fitzgerald. Call me crazy. Triple option. Who's running it? Leonard, and you're just going to run the option? $5 holler from Charlie. Michigan lost by bigger score. And we'll be ranked higher than Notre Dame. You know what? Good for Texas. They looked really, really good. They looked really strong. Oh, boy. Whew. All right, we need to get to the calls. Everybody, I'm sorry. We got to kind of keep it quick. I have other obligations I got to get to and writing we got to do. I want to give you your chance. Andrew, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, John? Terrible day. Terrible day for Notre Dame. Terrible day.
Where do you even start, Andrew? This is so far off the reservation. I don't even know where to begin with it.
Well, first off, I hope you're doing okay because you're going to take a lot of crap over the next week, but don't take it to heart. I
deserve it.
I'm sure you will take it to heart, but yeah.
Andrew, I deserve it, man, because I've been trolling LSU outrageous. I trolled Michigan all morning like I deserve it. Florida State, I've been going after them like I deserve it. This is just the way whatever happens. This is the life I chose. Whatever happens.
Yeah, I hear you, but you're a good guy, man. So hang in there. This is 100% on the coaches. I mean, it's funny. I know you work for SI, and so let me know if this is inappropriate to mention, but I did listened to the Irish Illustrated guys earlier this week, and they talked about in Freeman's first press conference. I can't remember if it was the A&M, like right after the A&M game, like in College Station, or if it was the Monday press conference. But he couldn't even remember who he was playing this week. They had to remind him that it just, I think it kind of was indicative of the situation that they had going. And so I imagine there's probably some assistants that were doing legwork on Northern Illinois, but this is just totally on the coaching staff. I mean, we have like arguably the two coordinators who are either the highest paid coordinators at their respective positions or in the top three. I think a couple guys were hired after Golden and Denbrock that may have gotten a little bit more money. But, I mean, wouldn't you agree? NIU just completely outclassed them in all regard. I mean, and even Al Golden, I think it was lucky to have held them to 16 points. NIU totally outplayed Notre Dame's defense. So I put it on them. I think the coaches just had little to no preparation for the game. And then where's the leadership on this team to step up? Come out, or fine, we're losing at halftime, but to come out with that type of effort after halftime, I mean, no big plays made by any seniors or anything like that, or older players. It's just shocking and really kind of disgusting. And then Riley Leonard. I mean, what can we say other than that today, at least, he looked like Tyler Buckner, but just getting a lot of more NIL than Tyler Buckner ever got. I mean, am I wrong about that? I mean, he's essentially Tyler Buckner. It was
just, you didn't do anything. You got out coached, out efforted, out schemed, out everything, man. It was a total no show. Way worse than Marshall. This is off the reservation, Andrew. Year 3. After that win last week, I can't believe this happened. This is absolutely unbelievable. And then I don't know where you go from here, Andrew. Like, what are you supposed to think going into Purdue now? Like, what do you, I have no, it throws the entire equation's messed up now. I have no idea what to think at all. We're starting all over from a bad, dark place.
The sad part about Freeman is that he's like Bitcoin or something. Like 1 week he's like, his stock is so far up, it's insane. And like you got Nick Saban praising him on game day as like, the next big coach. And then something like this happened. So anybody who can say that they're going to predict how the rest of the season is going to go is full of it. But yeah, I have no idea, if Notre Dame's going to go in and beat Purdue next week. What I will say though is there's a lot of people in the chat who are saying, oh yeah, let's go to Carr as quarterback. And there's just no way you're going to put Carr behind that offensive line. They made an investment in Leonard. You paid Mike Denbrock, $2 million or plus to be your OC. Fix it. Let's see if you fix it. That's where you go from here. And then sadly, even though this is Freeman's 3rd year as the head coach, we're back to where it was his first year, where it's literally a week by week process. Like we're going to be on that roller coaster the entire season. And so it's going to make for an entertaining.
But Andrew, that kind of instability, it can't be that way by year 3. You're supposed to be finding your consistency and your stability. It can't be going the other way on you. This is the one it just could not be. It couldn't be, and it is, and it is.
But the issue though is what and this is just a question for you, John. What kind of really shocks me about this, other than the coaches not preparing the team, is there a shocking level of inability to evaluate wide receiver and quarterback talent? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like 2 years ago, you said, we're going to go with Buckner, and it was clear that Buckner is not a Power 5 Division I quarterback. Since Freeman has become the head football coach, our wide receiver room has been just absolute trash. I mean, just insanely bad. I mean, probably some of the worst wide receivers rooms that Notre Dame had in my lifetime. And the first year I don't think they could go to the portal because of restrictions. Then the second year, they only get that Virginia Tech guy in the portal. Then they do go to the portal, but I don't even know if either one of these portal guys are any good. It's just like, I really worry, like, where is the talent evaluation? Like, I think we got to call everything into question. But yeah, I'll end on that. I really think that now it's back to a week-to-week evaluation of Freeman. And this is not the place you want to be in year 3 and under a coach. So it's shocking. And
it's going to be a long week. It's going to be a long week.
And in my opinion, this is the worst loss in Notre Dame. Like, I'm loss that was worse than this. I think this is potentially the worst loss in Notre Dame history. I mean, or at least since I've been alive, since the 80s. I mean, I literally can't think of a worse loss.
Is South Florida worse? Is South Florida worse with all those with like 7 turnovers? Could that be counted as worse? Because you were in a position to win, but you just turned it over every time you were about to score. Is that worse? Potentially, but what was that? Was that year 2 for BK? I think so.
I think that was his second year, right?
Oh gosh.
I mean, that's potentially worse. That might be more embarrassing because it was Skip Holtz too. But I think this is worse because I promise you, at the end of the year, that NIU team is not a good football team. Like, somebody in the chat was getting into an argument with me where I was saying that I think this loss is more embarrassing than when Michigan lost to Appalachian State, and people are like, "Well, they were an FCS team." That's No, like, what people don't realize, I follow college football very, very closely. The best of the FCS, like, the North Dakota States, the South Dakotas, those teams would beat mid-level MAC teams. The only reason why they're not in D1 is that they don't have big enough stadiums and stuff like that. But they recruit better. They actually are better funded than a lot of those MAC schools. So this isn't a more embarrassing loss. There's no way to shake it. So it's shocking, and we're back to week with Freeman, and you just don't want to be there with him.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a really, really long week. Question anything, criticize anything. Everything is fair game. Andrew, try and relax. Maybe watch the Bears, see what they do tomorrow. I don't know what to tell you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, hang in there, buddy. Because I know you're prominent on Twitter, so hang in there, man.
All right, I'll talk to you, man. Try and have a good rest of the weekend, Andrew.
You too, man.
Thanks, buddy. See ya. 574, give me some more. What's going on?
Johnny, what in the heck is going on?
Misery.
We paid $2 million a year for Drew Pine.
I don't even, how does something like this happen, man? How do you go from last week to what you saw here? Where do you put the blame? Is it on the coaching staff? Is it on Leonard? Is it on the guys thinking they could roll the ball out there and just win? What is it? Why do you keep, why does Notre Dame keep playing this game? They played this game with a different name inserted 20 times in the last 20 years. And sometimes they get lucky and find a way to win it, and sometimes they don't. Why can't Notre Dame take all 12 games serious? There are only 12 of them. There ain't a million. There's 12. Why can't they take them all seriously?
If you looked at Freeman, he had no energy on the sideline today. It all started with him. Like, he had somewhere else he needed to be, some other event he needed to go collect some more NIL money. He didn't even look like he was interested in the game.
So do you think they just thought they could roll the ball out there and win because they had a good highlights from last week? I just don't understand it, man.
Absolutely.
I just don't understand it.
There's just no focus, Johnny. We paid $2 million for Drew Pine. Leonard cannot complete a pass down the field. He threw a duck. It was 2nd and 1. Like, just run forward. You can't stay in the pocket as it is. Just fucking run. Oh, sorry for that F-bomb. I didn't mean it. My apologies.
I don't know, man, but you're starting from ground zero, and this is just the one it couldn't be. It just couldn't be this. It couldn't be this in year 3 in this situation. I don't know where you go. Dude, I don't know where you go from here. Like, I don't know how you come back, and I don't know what do you do? You go in the locker room and what do you say? Like, this is off the reservation of like outcome. This is so far off on the down end. I don't even know what you do. Like, it's an absolute humiliation, national embarrassment. It really is. And winning last week makes it 100 times worse because it isn't even just like you're bad and you're going to lose a lot of games or whatever. You showed you could win a tough game last week. And then now you do this. It's just so Notre Dame embarrassing.
8-4 is on the table now, Johnny. We said, how do we get there when I called you last?
8-4 is on the table.
It could be a possibility.
Listen, if you do this, anything's on the table, man. If you do this, anything's on the table. So I am not taking any bad scenario you want to name is on the table now because of this situation. It's absolutely unbelievable. You allowed this to happen in front of your home people. Everybody's coming back. The fans are excited to see Notre Dame. We're at home again. Woo! Yay. It's unbelievable.
Are these people coping that we could still go 11-1? Like, you're not being real. Like, this was as bad as it can get. It is a MAC team we just lost to. And if you think we're going to go to the playoffs and beat a team who's got less talent than a MAC team, like those teams are in the playoffs.
No, let me ask you this too. Let me ask you this. Maybe I'm not knowing what I'm looking at. Did it not feel like our lines got beat up by Northern Illinois today? I felt like their lines were. Why do I feel? What is going wrong in Notre Dame's program that I'm watching Northern Illinois dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball for most of this game? What is going wrong in Notre Dame land when Northern Illinois is pushing us around on both sides of the ball? How?
They weren't even picking up the blitzes. Like, our line had no idea where the blitzes were coming in. Leonard didn't know either. He wasn't calling them. It was just a lack of preparation. You could see it. Complete lack of preparation.
But how can it be a lack of preparation? You played last week. You won. You got a ton of national credit for it. And then you got to get ready to go keep winning. How do you have a lack of preparation? Yeah. It was a new week. You should be flying high, feeling good. Focus, because you have all this energy in a number 5 ranking, and you threw it all in the garbage at home, not even on the road in one of these stupid road environments where everybody's drunk and all lot in front of your own fans on a sunny afternoon in South Bend. You threw it all away. I don't understand. I don't get it.
You know why? It's because they all drank the Kool-Aid way too much. Oh, we got this great win. Now guess what? Let's just go beat them up in practice even more. Let's just beat them in practice till there's nothing left. Why not? Why not, Freeman?
Fans are allowed to sit there and go, my team did good. Now I'm feeling good this week, and I could kick back, and I'm feeling myself. The players and coaches don't have that. They're not afforded that opportunity till you win something after the year. We are allowed to go, we won, let's celebrate it for a few days. The team doesn't have that luxury. Did they not know that?
I don't think so, Johnny. I think it's year 3 and he still hasn't figured it out yet.
How do you end up every single thing that you could do wrong, you did wrong? Coaching, playing, adjustments, out physicaled, out efforted, out schemed, out big plays made at the right time, big special teams play, whatever. How is it possible that you screwed up every single big thing that there could be in this game? You messed every single one of them up and you didn't win any of those moments. How could it be?
And you know, the worst part, we probably paid a good chunk for that kicker too. And he gets 2 blocks. He gets blocked twice. How do we have 2 block kicks versus Northern Illinois?
I don't know. I don't know. It's, I just...
and how do you expect him to hit a 62-yarder?
You don't.
Are you out of your mind? He couldn't even kick a 42 without it getting blocked.
I'm telling you, man, like my brother said when he chatted in, question everything. Everything's on the table. And that is the exact place you could not afford to be in year 3 of Marcus Freeman, where you want some direction. Like when you want some direction on Freeman and they're talking about, does he deserve an extension or this and that? Like, this is not the time to put this kind of performance out there. It just can't be, man. This is the nightmare of all nightmares. Anything else, buddy? Thanks for calling.
No, not a whole lot of anything else, Johnny. It's just going to be a depressing week now. and I'm about to go launch my clubs into the neighbor's window.
I appreciate that. That will make me feel better. Go ahead and do it. Thank you. Have a good one, man.
I'll record it and tweet it to you.
That would actually make me feel a lot better. Please do. I'm dead serious. Send me it. It'll make me feel better. Do something. See ya. Oh, Jose with a $10 holler. Thank you. Dude, people are saying like Freeman is done and all that. Like, I'm still struggling with $5 holler from James. Stay loyal, John. A lot of people ain't. Well, if I was going to jump ship from Notre Dame because something bad happened, I would have done it 30 years ago. This is who I am. I'm never going away. I'm just going to be miserable and then die. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to be miserable and then die and stroke out. It's not a choice of what team I like. I'm just going to stress myself out, stroke out, die young, never see Notre Dame win anything. And my dad can tell me what it was like. I guess that's what we're going to do. $5 holler from the B1. South Florida has better, more explosive, more organized offense. South Florida, do you mean Northern Illinois? Is that a Freudian slip? Dino Bambino with $5 holler. We just have the NIU coach, the greatest coaching moment of his life. I'm sick to my stomach. How can anybody say we go 11-1? Mathematically, it is certainly possible you could go 11-1. That's about it, though. 862, we're talking to you. What's going on?
Johnny, thanks for taking my call. Love the show. First time being on air, but
with this one, man, like I my head is spinning. Going live right after the game, I really didn't have time to like really let anything sink in. Where do you even begin with this nightmare? Where?
Well, I'll tell you, Andrew, I think it was 2 calls ago, mentioning it's going to be week to week with Freeman. I feel like you're not going to like this. I don't think the chat's going to like this, but I think we only got one more year to worry about that. I do think he's done. I think this is the end of the Freeman era.
Do you think that, and I'm not trying to like be this way, like I'm asking honestly, what do you make of the juxtaposition of last week when the game got over, getting all that credit as a program, Freeman getting all that credit for like getting the team together to win that moment or whatever, flying as high, saying a signature win in all this. And then 6 days later, now everybody wants to fire the guy and they think it's over. Like, or do you see it as this is just a loss that's unacceptable in year 3? No matter what you do on the high end, you can't have this.
It's certainly an unacceptable loss in year 3. I do wonder what contingent of Notre Dame fans have kind of wanted Freeman gone for a while. I mean, I think if Kelly leaves for LSU, 1 or 2 weeks later, after the season, I would assume Luke Fickell is the coach of Notre Dame at this point. I really don't think Freeman was the number one choice. And, I feel like the Notre Dame administration, it has an opportunity now to get rid of him.
Oh, man. This is just I'm really, caller, I am struggling with this swing so drastically from the high of last week to the absolute lowest depth you could possibly have. I'm really struggling with finding the reality. That makes sense. Like I'm genuinely struggling with finding the reality of where this all sits in between these 2 moments of high and low. And I just don't know where the bar is. Like, what if they ended up running the table and they pull it together and win? Then they're 11-1 and then everything's fine again. We all forgive it. Or is the idea that if you're capable of playing this bad at home, there's no way you're going 11-1 or 10-2. It's going to be a lot worse than that. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a little worse.
Oh,
I hate to say it.
Come on, man.
I think this is, I'm thinking 8-4. I hate to say it, but I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people are mentioning the preparation for the game, coaching wise. I'm sure obviously the preparation was not good today, but what has disturbed me over the past 2.5 years now, it's not the preparation. It's Freeman's total inability to adapt to what's going on in big games, small games, whatever. I mean, the first game, the bowl game, they were, when Kelly left the first one, where Oklahoma State they were playing, They were up at halftime. Oklahoma State adjusted. Notre Dame didn't. Oklahoma State comes back. 2 years ago, Ohio State, they're up at halftime. I think I'm remembering that right. Ohio State adjusts. Notre Dame doesn't. Ohio State wins the game. Last year with the last couple of plays, the Ohio State game there. And today, I mean, that last play, and I mean, it was only a half hour ago, whatever, maybe I'm misremembering. Is the 62-yard field goal attempt kind of ridiculous? It sure is. But what was more ridiculous was rushing out there to beat the play clock. A timeout. He had a timeout. He could have taken a timeout. They could have had a nice, calm field goal attempt. There are times where he's coaching. It's as if he doesn't really even know the rules of the game. And it's so strange to watch.
Oh, man. It's just, I don't know. I'm almost at a loss of words, and that never happens for me on this show. It's just so unbelievably off the radar. I don't know what you do, man. And I don't know how you get prepared to go to Purdue with your head hung high. Like, I'm ready to go. I don't know, but you got a lot. You lost any credibility and credit you gained last week. You lost it times 100, right? Like any trust or any faith or any confidence, it's not just lost. It's lost and underground a million miles. Like it's not just, this just couldn't be. Any way you slice it, this one just couldn't be.
100%. I mean, the goodwill they gained from beating Texas A&M, who, at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being nobodies. I mean, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and then it was just and
team as well.
So then that just ends up being we're in one unique moment in time, week one, where nobody knew what anybody was, and it was just based off the narratives all summer, and you had no other data surrounding either team, and you just playing. I get that, but man, I'm telling you. This is the most, in my life, 40 years old, this is the most Notre that could ever happen. I can't even say I'm surprised because it's the most Notre Dame-y predictable thing that could ever happen in a million years is this.
No, I'll say it was halfway through the first quarter of this game today. I was sitting here and I'm saying, boy, you know what? It feels like Marshall. And they're going down. So you are correct in saying that it's a predictably Notre Dame-y thing. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know, man. This is going to be really rough. God bless Notre Dame fans. Man, they're loyal, and we don't get a lot out of it. And we're always trying to find a reason to buy in and to be loyal, and we're never going away. It's just, when does it ever come back around on the plus side? Like, this is just so backbreaking. It's a rough one, man. Listen, can I tell you though, I really appreciate your calm call. I needed that. Your calm delivery amidst, I'm not kidding, man. In this situation tonight, I appreciate your calm demeanor delivering this unfortunate news. Anything else, man? Thanks for the call.
Not much, Johnny. Go Irish, and everyone sign up for that Patreon. All right, John, we'll see you later. Buddy.
Hey, thank you very much, man. Just because we lost, we'll still be firing it up on Patreon, trying to figure a way out of this. Thanks a lot, 862. Have a good weekend. Oh, my word. 808-469. You guys donated to bump up, so you're going to you're gonna come up soon. 419, you're on the line. What's going on?
Oh, we should be used to this, shouldn't we?
Mark, I want to be surprised and shocked, but we've seen this story a lot of times, Mark, have we not?
Yeah, I think the main takeaway is I don't want to hear anybody say that we overlooked them or, the high last week, because if there's ever a team that knows about all that, it should be this team. So I don't want to hear that. And I can already see, the narrative of that, they overlooked them. They just thought they'd roll the helmets out there and win. And I think based on the last couple of years, why in the hell? It makes no sense. But to make it quick, it's embarrassing. Question everything, like everyone said. Andrew had a great call. And,
Mark, what is the reality on Freeman? How do you go from giving the staff all this credit for what they did last week in that situation, and then now it's the complete opposite 1 week later? Where does that mean that the reality is? Or does this one so off the radar on the bad end, it wipes out on the what credit you got on the plus side because you just can't have this? Like, that's big picture. Zooming out, that's where I'm struggling to find the accurate reality. It's year 3. You got all that credit and you had it together last week and now you can't do anything. What is the reality here? I'm racking my brain.
Yeah.
Son of a buck. Mark, our lives are stupid. Mark, our lives are stupid, Mark. Mark, our lives are stupid. Do you think about how much time you and I talk about Notre Dame in a year? Our lives are stupid, bro.
Yeah, it sounded shitter. But, like, it's, there's a point in the game when they were up 1 with 6 minutes left, when they had 2nd and 1. Price just had a run for 7 yards before Leonard threw that interception. And that's the kind of game where if I was watching it and it wasn't my team, I would have said, okay, that team deserves to lose now. You run the damn ball, and you're asking for, you're asking for trouble when you do shit like that. It's baffling. I don't know why all these different coordinators, they come to Notre Dame and all of a sudden they do these things. They get cute at, the worst times or whatever it is. Like, I don't understand. This is the 3rd OC now. And, I'm sure Goolsby will pick apart the play calling, but at times it's baffling. Like, why aren't we running the ball? Where did Love go? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And, I thought next year was going to be the rebuild, but I think the rebuild starts right now. And I don't know if you saw the video that Orca put on Twitter where the fans are running off the field and you can hear boos and fans yelling, "You suck." But that's where we're at.
Oh, man.
So look at Tyler Horton's tweet. It's bad.
Oh.
I never thought I would see that, but it's out there.
Oh, man. This is a dark
and
place.
There's no reasonable turnaround. If you just watch what we just watched, there's no way this can be salvaged. So, if you lose to Purdue, you can't play Riley Leonard any further. Like, you got to, at one point, they could have did it last year with Hartman. At some point, you need to draw a line and say it's a total rebuild. And,
So then, okay, if you're going to do, Mark, if
4, 5, 6 games
if you're going to do that, and you're going to base it around the quarterback, then where is the tipping point to where you go, right? They don't want the season to totally tank. So where's the tipping point of where Riley Leonard becomes not effective? And then you feel like you could win more games with the backup guy. I don't know where that line is or where that point is. I have no idea. I don't know where that line is. I
don't either.
I genuinely don't know, but I have concerns with everything. Commander, I got 80 freaking miserable people calling me on hold. Everybody wants to get in. It isn't all just about you every time you're in the chat. I got 80 angry people on the lines here. I don't have time to sit there and cater to every single person I've talked to before that has messaged me. I'm sorry. It's a rough night. I'm doing the best I can to navigate the call-in lines. I'd appreciate a little bit of understanding in this moment. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, that's about all I get. It's a total shit show. I'm mad at everybody. Our frickin' leprechaun didn't have a frickin' beard on. I don't know if you saw that. What the hell is going on? Did we get anything right?
Mark, if you feel like it,
This is a low.
If you feel like it, come have a beer with me in a couple weeks. At least we could be together and have a beer and know that we at least get along as friends. So maybe we'll do that. And if nobody wants to come to the tailgate anymore, I totally understand it. If you don't want to go ruin your weekend with Notre Dame football again, I get it. But I'll be sitting there. I'll drink my own Miller Lite by myself in the parking lot and look at the clouds go by.
Yeah, so let's everybody put on a brave face. Hope somehow we can manage to beat Purdue and go from there. But
Mark, I love you.
Keep it.
Love you, Mark. Hang in there, buddy. Try and have a good weekend. Watch some NFL games tomorrow or something. I'll talk to you. See you, buddy. Oh, man. Oh, my word. 808. Let me find you. You donated. What's going on, 808?
Hey, John, how are you?
Not well.
Nope. I haven't called you since last year when we lost to the Ohio State. If you remember me,
I do.
Travel from Hawaii.
I do remember you. You were the one that traveled all the way from Hawaii to come to Notre Dame and watch us put 10 guys on the field against Ohio State. And I felt bad for you and I loved you. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that year I kept watching. We saw that we lost the Clemson game, and then I just gave up for the season.
Yeah.
Honestly, I came back excited for the new year. And you know what? I've been thinking, how many times have we been in the situation where we have the hypothetical? You lose, we kept losing the big game and losing, and then winning the small ones. And we kept saying, we would say so. I remember in your calls. You would say, I'm willing to lose small games for big games. And, I mean, I guess the time came by now, but I don't think you have to.
Well, it's like you think about it like, okay, here's how I think about it sometimes. Anybody could lose any dumb game to a lower level team. Like, that's easy. It's easier to lose to a dumb team you shouldn't lose to. It's easier to do that than it is to win against a really good team, right? Like, I just think anybody could have a day where they do everything wrong and lose. Like, that's easier to do than proving you could get a high-level win. What's going to be interesting now is now people are starting to go, I don't know about this A&M, man. Maybe they're not going to be any good at all. If we're doing this today and we did what we did to them last week, maybe neither of us are any good. I don't know.
I mean, my comment to that is that, I mean, A&M is just like the 8th or the 9th best team in the SEC. The only thing for them is that they're still hyped in the college football game as being like the worst environment to go to.
Yeah, so where do you go now, man? Like, where do you even start rebuilding this? Like, everything just burnt down to the ground. All your last week's good vibes and everything, you ruined all of it. So I don't know where you go from here. It's really an awful spot to be, and you can't be operating from here in year 3.
I mean, my comment to that is that the beat writers are sellouts. We were sold, the passing game is awesome. They click Instagram and like YouTube, and they got it, they fixed it, and then season comes out. I don't see any improvement. I think it's worse. Like, there was some caller saying that we paid $2 million for a replacement for remember the quarterback we had like 2 years ago that like couldn't like hit anything. But I remember like when we play USC like in 2022, at least he scored touchdowns. Riley Leonard has been going to 2 games and he has 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. So like at this point, like, I would rather play Sierra card because, like, people say, like, but I want to win games. What's the point of winning pointless games? If we don't win a New Year's 6 game, for me, like, the season is a waste of time.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. This is just, it's one that it couldn't be. It's just one that it couldn't be. And I don't know where you go from here. And I'm genuinely struggling finding the reality of Marcus Freeman where he's at right now. I don't have the answer to that. And I'd be interested to see what he said in the post game if they asked him tough questions or whatever. But I don't understand. I don't know where he falls now after the high of last week and the low of now. I don't know what the reality is, but this is really one you couldn't have. It just is.
Yep. And you know what? I saw the USC game and their defense is up. So at that point, like I was excited for like end of season top 10. Finally, we have USC and ND being good. But now it's like, all right, they're gonna blow us out. During the last game against Texas A&M, someone mentioned, "Oh, watch out for Stanford." I laughed at it. The other person laughed at it. But like now, it's like the game plan is out. I don't think we can even.
People are saying, okay, people are saying that Freeman blamed preparation in the press conference. That's just not. It's not an acceptable answer. I don't understand. Why did you go? It's one thing to be like, Freeman's in year 3. He should be furthering, developing, and know what he's doing or whatever. But then you also got these 2 veteran OCs and DCs, and you went and paid $2.1 million a year for the OC you got and everything. And everybody gave credit for all this staff and everything and all the experience and everything and whatever. How do you have a bad preparation for this with all of that? It's an unacceptable answer. It's an unacceptable answer. It's not it. That's not an answer. I can't accept it.
Unacceptable. Remember, like the story with Lou Holtz saying, like the worst weeks were the weeks against the small teams, because then like he would beat up the players the whole week during training, and then they perform well like during game day. Like that's a team like repeated like constantly over like our years by of saying like Lou Holtz did this 88 team in the 90s and all that. Yes. So like, how do you forget the basics? Before with Brian Kelly, we lost like big games in blowouts. Now it seems like Marcus Freeman is the opposite. We lose like games against most teams out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's Marshall. You got North Illinois now. So I mean, are they opposites?
Man, it's just so Notre Dame. It really hurts you. It's so Notre Dame. Listen, man, anything else? Thank you for thinking of me and giving me a call. Even if it's once a year, I do appreciate you. Thank you. Where'd you go? Sorry, man. Do I got you?
Yeah, see you next time. Hopefully, they see your car. Because at this point, what are we doing?
Yeah, I hope to hear from you in better circumstances, my friend. And safe travels if you're still going back all the way out to Hawaii. Kevin says, Freeman said we've been here before. Yeah, that's the problem, bro. That is the problem, man. I just can't. You know, I really think is one lesson here. We're done with these portal quarterbacks. The hell with that. Is that a big lesson here? Like the coaching thing is a coaching thing, and I don't have a clear answer to that right now. But is that, are we realizing that? Is that something I could take away from all this BS? Is maybe we're done with this portal quarterback crap. Like if you can't recruit and develop anything better than Hartman and what we got today, what are you doing? How are you a big program? How is this Notre Dame football? Like, if you can't get better play out of that, I don't understand. Like, what are you giving up years of development of younger guys to bring in an upperclassman guy to throw that picket to lose the game? Like, that's not what you're here for, bro. Always Irish Senior. You know it's a bad day when my brother's on here complaining. Now my dad's on here complaining. Always Irish Senior. Is doing it the ND way conducive to the times we live? O-line, D-line, soft, needs some mean guys on the field fighting for their life. Did we not feel like they did a better job of fighting for their life and doing all that last week? What happened to all that? I'm going to have a stroke. This team is going to be the end of me. Wellington, $20 hour. I like that name. Thanks, John. It's humbling how much you care about the team, the school, and this community. Can't trust Freeman now. What have we really built since BK left? I've never been this depressed. I'm 64. Thank you for the donation. That's like the really disappointing part. Wellington is like, you felt like last week, Freeman has a signature win. Put the flag in the ground. There you go. There is your foundation of the high end of the Freeman era. That's what you were feeling a week ago. Put the flag in the ground. This is his signature win in the SEC. You could grow from that. You could build from that. You could build confidence from that. You could recruit off that. And again, the biggest point I hammered home all week is that win puts you ahead of the playoff curve. Put you ahead of the playoff curve. You had a game in your pocket to play with. You're going to have some tough games this year. You couldn't let this be the one this happened to and give that game away. I don't know how you come back. I don't know. John, is that the worst throw you've ever seen? You're telling me Notre Dame can't recruit their own guys and have them do better than that? And it costs $2 million to go do something else? You don't have anybody that could do better than that in-house that you could recruit yourself? Is this not Notre Dame? $20 holler from Michael. Thank you. He didn't even say anything. It's just $20 for me to be miserable. I guess I'll take it. 469, you're on the line. What's going on?
Hey, John.
What's going on?
How are you?
I am miserable.
Right. Yeah, I think all of us Notre Dame fans, it's not a good day. But I'll say that a championship isn't won or lost in one regular season game. And everything that was hoped for at the beginning of the season is still there. We have a tendency, in most fan bases, this isn't exclusive to Notre Dame, but there's a tendency to get way too high on some wins and way too low on some losses. It sucks because a lot of it, going into the game was thinking about, getting backups in the game and getting a rest for the starters and everything. But, sometimes you get punched in the mouth and you got to reassess. And like I said, everything that Notre Dame wants to do is still there. I mean, I'm going to ignore what people are talking about in the chat. Oh, they can't go 11-1. Yes, they can. People are acting like no team has never recovered from a loss to, resurrect their season. People are acting like no team has ever, unexpectedly lost a game and turned things around. It happens all the time. So we need to stop acting like this is a death knell to the program or something. It's never happened before.
Listen, man, I appreciate this call just for a sake of balance. When we, with the chat, this negative and everything and the calls, and the negativity, I do appreciate you trying to balance that out. Is the problem, though, I think a lot of people feel like if you're going to play this bad, this wasn't like you played a good team 2 weeks in a row and you fell short, but you played a good game and you fought and you fell short. I think the worry is people are figuring if you did what you did here and got outplayed, out-schemed, out-coached, out-hustled all day, out-executed, they don't think this team's capable of pulling it all together and going 11-1 when it was this bad and this one, right? Like in that way, maybe all losses aren't the same. And if you're falling this flat, I think a lot of people are questioning. They don't believe Notre Dame could come back and run the table if you were this bad today. That's probably what people are thinking.
Well, here's the dynamic. Here's the nuance as far as what's going on. What we've seen in these games, big time college game day, night game, first game. They had that with Ohio State. They've had that now with Texas A&M. And what happened the very next game? They fell flat. And so the question really is, what is Marcus Freeman doing or not doing to get the team back up after getting them up emotionally for that first game? That's really the problem. The problem isn't some existential, is Marcus Freeman the guy? Maybe he's not the guy, but I'm going to say maybe he's not the guy for another reason. But maybe he needs to still figure something out as a first-time head coach as far as how do I get my team up to play after a an emotionally draining game, because that's what they had with Ohio State, and they fell flat against Marshall. They had that with Texas A&M. They fell flat with NIU. And what was consistent with both Marshall and NIU? They were well-coached teams. Both of them had coaches that had been there for a while that really knew what buttons to push with their teams. This isn't like some secret, like, oh, how did that happen? It happens all the time in college football. You have these lesser program teams, but they're really well coached, and the coaches know exactly what to get out of their players, and they can get their players up for this game. We're going to play Notre Dame. That's not hard to do. What is hard to do is when you have a big time emotional game and you have the letdown from that. How do I get my team back up?
So what would your response be if a lot of people in the chat said, it's year 3. You got to have it figured out by now. It's year 3 of your tenure, and this is Notre Dame. You're not allowed to do this. Man, what about those coordinators that we all praised as being old heads in the room, one on offense, one on defense, that can control their units and know what's going on and help Freeman develop and all that kind of stuff? Like $2.1 million for the offense coordinator. Al Golden's defense, one of the best in the country, got all the flowers in the country last week. Where's their responsibility? This is just inexplicable.
Okay, so I'll respond to the question as far as it's year 3. How does he not have it figured out? I don't know. I'm not in the room. All I'm going to say is he obviously doesn't have it figured out. But who's to say what written rule is there? Where is it written down? Where is it, indicated that it has to be figured out year 3? Is it because year 3, a whole bunch of Notre Dame coaches won national championships and Nick Saban won a national championship year 3? Because Brian Kelly went undefeated year 3? There's nothing that says it has to happen year 3. Other than that's what fans expect.
Yeah.
But there's no established, like, this is just the way it goes, and if it doesn't go that way, then he's dog shit.
And I'm struggling with that, man. That's my one of my high level zoning out complaints is I don't know how to gauge where Freeman's at all now. I don't know how you gauge it. Does this wipe out any good credit from last week at all? Does it wipe it all out? Because this is so far on the low end, it scraps all that positivity completely. I can't trust you. Now, that's the other thing, man. I really enjoyed feeling like for a few days that I could trust Notre Dame, trust this staff, trust the players to go in there with the plan and play good football. And that's gone. That hurts me, man. Not only does it make me practically frustrated, it hurts me because I thought I could start to feel like maybe now is the time I could start to trust this team and this coach. And it is just not true. And that hurts. I'm not even talking football schematics. Personally, it hurts me because you can't trust this team and this staff now. And I really hoped we were turning the corner. It hurts me, man.
I think what this does with Marcus Freeman, unfortunately, year 3, I don't think should be a make or break year, but this probably becomes a make or break year for him. And one thing I think a whole bunch of people have been saying, no more transfer QBs. Myself, and I know Mike Goolsby, I was on all kinds of message boards and I was saying, why are they bringing in a transfer QB when they've got guys on the team they could play and develop? And they brought in Sam Hartman. And then again, why are you bringing in a transfer QB?
How about
Riley Leonard? I think this firmly establishes you can do just as well playing a guy you have on the roster already. You don't need to go out and get a guy. If he's not good enough to go to the NFL, he shouldn't be good enough to play at Notre Dame because you're aspiring to put guys in the NFL.
Or how about this? People are saying don't go to the portal or whatever, or go to the portal and actually get a really good quarterback. There's a lot of teams that did go to the portal and got quarterbacks that are playing really good and can whip the ball all over. Why are we going to the portal and getting the guys that can't do that? People are saying don't go to the portal and get the guys we get. If you want to go get a quarterback that can wing it around, go for it. But we're not getting that apparently.
Because they're not grad transfers.
Oh, man, I'm so miserable.
Because
this is just,
transfers.
I am so miserable. So, okay, map this out. You're the outlier of the calls, and I appreciate you for being that. I think that's healthy. Again, Commander, it ain't all about you. Give me your number. What is your number? Maybe I'll bring you up, but I have 80 other people here. You're not that special. I'm sorry. What is the roadmap here? Like, help me out. What is the roadmap here? Stabilize things any way you can. Try and get a win at Purdue and feel a little better about it. And then maybe you could be Miami, Ohio, and I could have a Miller Lite in the parking lot and not be miserable. And then you feel like you're back on the upswing. Like, how do you even begin to sort through the ashes here, man?
It's one game at a time. It's always one game at a time. There are people who are complaining about, oh, he didn't know who they were playing after Texas A&M. Of course he wasn't thinking about who they're playing after Texas A&M. He just finished beating Texas A&M. The only time to worry about who you're playing next is Sunday morning. He doesn't need to worry about who the next opponent is in the press conference after the game that was just played. So it's one game at a time. Tomorrow morning, they'll get together, figure out what went wrong with the game, and they'll go ahead and self-scout. They'll figure out what improvements they need to do as far as their own game plan, look at Purdue, and figure out, okay, this is going to be our game plan for Purdue, and go and execute it.
Man, this is...
And then after Purdue, then the process starts again. And you do that week after week after week. And you put together wins. I mean, other than that, Marcus Freeman isn't built this way, but other than that, it's tuck your tail between your legs and freaking go crawl in a corner and cry.
This is I wanted to say the worst case scenario, but losing last week and doing this week would have been the worst case scenario. So you have one on the high end and one on the low end. I got to tell you, man, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you presenting a different angle on this. I think you're severely outnumbered and everybody's miserable, but you are, I do appreciate that. Anything on the way out, thank you for trying to balance us out.
Hey, just on the way out, it's not over till it's over. They've got a puncher's chance. And we as a fan base, all we can do is just support our team. Beyond that, we can be upset. We can be angry. We can cry. We can drink ourselves to sleep. Whatever we choose to do, however we choose to cope, whatever mechanism we use. I mean, each of us as individuals, that's what we got to do. But as far as our team, they're in it until they're not.
Hey, man, I appreciate the perspective. I think it's needed here. I appreciate you giving me a call. Thank you for trying to show the other side of it, man. I hope you're able to have a good rest of your weekend, okay? Enjoy some NFL or something.
Go Irish.
Have a good one, man. Thank you. I'm telling you, I appreciate him. I don't have that call in me today. You out of my mind? I don't have that in me today. Are you serious? Look at the $5 howler from Mikey. John, I'm still looking forward to the tailgate. Excited to celebrate my 1-year engagement anniversary and slug some Miller Lights with you and the Always Irish family. I'll tell you guys, I love that crew and I just want to see my people, man. It's just kind of, it's just rough. It's not taking my number. Are you assuming, you mean the phone number? If you're not able to get in, it's because too many people are on hold. I have a call bank and if it's full, you're not going to be able to call till somebody drops off and you could drop in. That's what happens on the post-game show, if that's what you mean. I just want to see my people, man. I just want to see my people and drink a couple beers. And I thought maybe we could do it and have some hope. in our lives, and I don't think that's going to happen. $5 dollar from Will. Thank you. You've donated a couple times, Will. Thank you. Brody with the $5 dollar. As a USC fan, this caller is just coping. We're worried about Notre Dame in the preseason, but now let's play them next week. I got a 916 number. Yeah, it's not ideal, and USC's coming off a great win. Always Irish Senior, John. If no one shows up at the tailgate, more beer for us. Yeah, it'll just be the Kennedys. It'll just be the Kennedys sitting there with their miserable Kennedy, angry Notre Dame faces on. We're all just sitting there miserable, drinking our beer, mad, sitting there in traffic. Oh my gosh, what a miserable Notre Dame life I choose to live. Oh man, that's so rough. Oh, it's so rough. 518, let's make it great. What's going on?
Hey, John, can you hear me?
I can. Thanks for the donation. Thank you for the call. What's going on?
I called you, I think it was last season when we lost to Louisville. It's been a wild ride since then, watching last season. I've always been listening to your podcast, and right now I'm in the military, so I was hoping I could get this call in before we do evening muster, but I had time to watch the game, and oh boy, that was a gut puncher. But
first off, thank you for your service, my friend. And I don't know, where does your mind go first in this misery? Like walk me through it. Is it Freeman in the big picture? Is it how could this team be so high last week and so low now? Like where does your mind go? It's just such a flip of positive to negative. It's almost unbelievable, night and day, that this team like appeared this way one week to the next. What do you make of it?
I think it has to do with a combination of just the hangover from last week's win and the players probably going into this game thinking we just won a massive game against A&M. We got these guys. They're a weak opponent. They're inferior to us. We're at home. And then I think it's probably Riley Leonard too, because if you looked at his numbers of completions and attempts for passes last week compared to this week, it's the same thing. And honestly, shoot, we should probably just get Carr in there, give him some playing time, and maybe get Minchie in there. Leonard is clearly not the answer we're looking for, and
see, I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how that's going to go. What do you have to do to get to a level where they go, Riley Leonard, we paid you all this money. We like that you're a big body dude with legs, but it ain't working. I don't know. Like, where is I don't know practically where the tipping point is that would make them make that decision. I don't know where that line is. It's got to be one somewhere, but where is that line?
I don't really know either. And I think that's a question that Freeman's going to have to figure out, because he's definitely going to get heat for this. Because if you looked at the loss that he had against Marshall and the crap losses that he had against Ohio State both those years and against Clemson, I'm so torn now, because when we don't expect him to do good, he does great. But when we expect him to go over the top, he just falls flat on his face. Like, it's not like Brian Kelly where we expect him to do mediocre every single year. With Freeman, he's built this energy around him, and he's created this kind of mentality that he can take. And he doesn't turn out. But when we're down and out, like after this loss, he'll probably give us a big win, and then we'll be back up to the hype again.
See, but but here's the problem though. The problem with that way of living is this is not the NFL where you could win some, you're going to lose some, and then like wherever you're at in your division, and then like you could be like almost 500 and make the playoffs or whatever. Like, it's just not like that in college football. You only get 12 of these, and they're so precious. You can't give away any of them like this, and especially this one on the schedule at your place. Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium, fans. Aren't you glad you waited all winter and summer for this? It's unbelievable. You waited all this time. You waited all this time to get back to Notre Dame Stadium. All these Notre Dame fans, you get back in there, and this is what you get. You hate your life.
I've been watching Notre Dame since the day I could figure out how to walk and watch TV. It became an almost family tradition to watch it with my dad, and he was a Notre Dame fan since he was born. Always used to watch Keith Jackson call the games. It's heartbreaking because this is a championship caliber team, and we expect national titles out of
Who
the
is?
team.
Northern?
So you have stupid... Oh, God.
I know.
Oh, God.
You ever get so, like, you're so turned around and mad and upset, you instead of yelling or crying, you laugh. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at, is like, I would almost just rather laugh because I'm so beyond angry. It's unbelievable. This is just an unbelievable predicament that's totally believable if you're a Notre Dame fan.
It's at first when I saw the kick miss, I was frustrated, but then I was just like, honestly, last 18 years of my life, I've seen the same damn thing every season. What do I have to be sad about? And that's, I think, the problem that most Notre Dame fans are going through, is that we've seen too much of this crap. And it's frustrating when you have a team that's so good, but just can't make it through in the end. I think what they need to do is Freeman needs to drill in his team's mind that they need to take this season game by game. After this kind of loss, you are not allowed to talk about playoff appearances or anything without proving you can put your 100% effort into every single week and every single play of every game. They need to show out for everything. They need to prove that this was just a hangover loss and that they are still a good team, and they need to figure out their identity on offense, because last week it was all penalties and just stupid mistakes with discipline. Now it's just them still kind of making disciplinary errors, but just not really finding their footing, because you have players like, I forgot his name, the transfer from Clemson, and you also have Love, who's making great plays, and the defense is really, really good. I commend the defense, but the offense, they need to find their footing. And I think if they can find their footing, and if they can figure out this quarterback situation out, they should definitely make this a good year, even if it is 1 or 2 losses.
Well, it's definitely going to be one. If you were going to drop one this year, it couldn't be this one. If you had one in your pocket to play with, it couldn't have been this one. And so it's just, this is really a gut punch to the Freeman era. As high as we were last year, to be this low it's a gut punch. And I don't know where you go from here, but I feel bad for all those nice people that wanted to see the first home game and go there, and they had that extra energy from what we did last week. I feel bad for everybody. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate the donation. Thanks for giving me a call.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You're welcome.
Take care.
I'll always watch your show, and hopefully we'll salvage this season, and maybe a couple of years from now, hopefully in my lifetime, we'll win a national title.
Yeah, I hope so too. Take care, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, man. Let's see. Trying to get the other people that donated here on the call. 619's coming up. What's going on, 619?
How you doing, John?
Awful.
Yeah, I am too. I called last week after we beat Texas A&M, and I remember being like so happy. I was so grateful. I was like, wow, like Notre Dame's really going to change for the better. And then we come back home and just embarrass ourselves in front of the whole entire country to some no-name school that no one has ever heard of before.
Well, I've heard of it because that's offensive to Northern Illinois. I live in Illinois and I've heard of Northern Illinois, and I went to a concert in Northern Illinois once, and you know who it was? It was G Unit, and it was awesome, and I had a great time. That's my experience with Northern Illinois. How about that? I've heard of it, and I was up there with 50 Cent, damn it. How about that for Northern Illinois?
Yeah, well, they're definitely not known for football. We'll just say that. But anyways, I guess shout out to them because they came in way more prepped, played way better offense, way better defense.
They played better everything. They did awesome.
They played better everything, and there was nothing we could do about it.
Those guys, dude, they had no fear at all. Notre Dame Stadium, all those people, the biggest building they've ever played in, they did not give a flying crap about any of that. None of it fazed them. They did not care. It was like they were at a practice. They had no fear whatsoever, and they went and beat the crap out of you in front of your home people at your place. It does not get more embarrassing than that, and I'm humiliated, and I want to punch myself in the face. How about that?
Yeah, it is just so embarrassing. Like, they were so locked in. I mean, after, we scored, they came on the field, no hesitation at all. Like, it was just, I guess good on them, but, I thought this year would be different, other than, maybe a loss to like some ranked team, like, FSU or, USC or any of that. But Northern Illinois, like, really at home, your first game at home, you're going to go out there and play like trash and really just embarrass, like, all those people like that showed up. Like, it's just so embarrassing. I don't know. I hate it.
It's a really, really rough. This is a really, really rough place to be, man. I don't even know where. I can't even wrap my mind around how you begin to move through all this. You guys are asking where Pat is. Pat had the Ryder Cup golf tournament at the country club where, and it was an all-day thing, Ryder Cup, like golf and whatever. He's probably drinking at the course after the tournament or whatever. That's where Pat is. This is just brutal, man. And there's a lot of off the field things I have questions about. And there is a lot of on the field things I have questions about. None of it's good enough. You can't be year in year 3, and I hate it. Anything else? Thanks for calling.
I'm just saying this is the most like Notre Dame game like ever. I swear. Every year there's always one game that we're just like, oh, we're just not going to show up before. We're not going to prepare for. We're just going to play like absolute trash. And we're going to make it a yearly thing. Like Clemson, like Marshall, like Stanford, like all of these teams, like even almost Toledo. We almost lost to Toledo. Like all of these teams that like are not even ranked, not even in the top 100 probably. And we go out there and we lose in the most embarrassing fashion, and then everyone calls us overrated, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it's really rough. Hey, thanks a lot for the call, my friend. Hang in there, okay? Watch some good teams play.
John,
hang in
enjoy
there.
Your Sunday, watching that Bears game, okay?
Yeah, I'll try. Hang in there, buddy. Thanks a lot. Listen, it means a lot to me that you guys are so miserable, but you want to be with me and share your thoughts. We're all in this together in this nightmare. $5 holler from Andrew. Gut reaction. I don't know. Isn't an answer. Do you still have faith in Freeman? Could he ever put together something better than Kelly? How can you can't. That's what hurts me the most, man. You can't have trust and confidence and faith in Freeman right now. There's no practical, logical way anyone could say they do. How? You don't have the evidence. You don't have the evidence. You just can't. Like it's just, you can't. That's what hurts me. That's the uncomfortable feeling I have. Mark with glasses says he's embarrassed to go to work Monday. Yeah, so am I. You know why? Because this is my work. This misery is my work. 7 days a week, 365. I don't want to go to work either. Here I am. I wanted this. I chose this life, but it is very uncomfortable when there's no escape. It isn't like, oh, John, that's your weekend stuff, and then you could go back to work and get your mind off it. No, no, no. Johnny's in Notre Dame land all the time, for better or worse. Why do you think my hair's falling out? And I got a 1-900 direct number to the psych ward. Or 1-800. Is it 1-900? Is it the 900 numbers for like inappropriate girls or whatever? Aren't those 900 numbers? The 800 number right to the psych ward. Oh my God. Denbrock gets an F. Freeman gets an F. Riley Leonard gets an F. The special teams unit gets an F. Everything gets an F. Everything gets an F. Other than NIU. Oh, it's the most Notre Dame. This is the most Notre Dame type of misery I could ever imagine in my whole life. It's unfreaking believable. This is so on brand. I hate myself. Literally, seriously, it's so on brand. I hate myself. $10 holler from Jamin. We don't have any playmakers on offense, and it shows with all the screens they run. This is a wake-up game. This team is not at all a playoff caliber team. It's just rough. It's hard to argue they're a playoff team when you play like that, and it isn't just playmakers and stuff. You lost the line of scrimmage to Northern Illinois today. It isn't just the playmakers and in space and all that. You lost the battle up front to Northern Illinois, and you're Notre Dame. Who is going to answer for that and how? Mark, John, shouldn't we just expect this type of loss each year as an Irish fan? Yes, you should. Yes, you should. But that doesn't mean you're going to accept it, right? Expect it, yes. Accept it, never. Right? Those are two different things. Expect the misery and nightmare, yes. Accept, never. Those are two different things. But a very good question. What is this? V1 rotate the $5 holler. Indy just posted the post-game conference on YouTube and turned off the comments. Cowards. That is a weak move. You do not? Come on, man. I know you could control your own PR and all that. I understand that, man. But man, you want your chat open to take all the kudos last week, and then now you take a big dump on your own field in front of all your paying fans, and now you're going to go private. Dude, I just don't respect that. Always next year. Oh, yeah. I'm sure things are going to get a lot better then. You got A&M with a year under Mike Elko coming to your place week 1. Well, then we're going to do all this build up and this crap again. This was supposed to be the year things changed, damn it. This was supposed to be the year. Barry's saying they always turn off the comments. Is that true or not? Even when they win, they turn off the comments? I don't want to nail Notre Dame if it isn't true. But I told you guys, I don't usually watch the press conferences because I don't get a lot of value out of them other than injury stuff. Oh, God, help me. God, help me. Lord have mercy. 313, you're talking to me. What's going on? 313, do I got you?
Yeah. Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
Awful. Terrible. But I appreciate you asking. That's very respectful and nice of you, but I'm doing terrible.
Absolutely. Me too. I'm sick. It's just time and time and time again. And I don't know, but I don't know. Here's what I do know.
What do you know? I need some direction. So give it to me. What do you know?
Northern Illinois, 5 to 7 yards on first down every time. I mean, that offensive coordinator for NIU is everything I have ever dreamed of at Notre Dame. I mean, they're running reverses. They're running screen passes. They're running slants. They're running play action passes. I mean, what does it take? 3 years for Freeman, 3 offensive coordinators, in 3 years of nothing but a flat, predictable offense year in and year out. Everybody can blame all the OCs they want. This is not on them. This is absolutely Freeman's offense. And I'm telling you now, everybody could blame Leonard. Yeah, he looked bad today. But you know what? The coaches aren't putting him in the right position to execute his talents. He looked uncomfortable. You don't put a quarterback behind the realm and look uncomfortable. Call plays where he feels good. I mean, it's just you could see it. The offense is just so predictable. This is a team, NIU. We should have beat them with our eyes closed, John. At home after a big win like that.
I don't know. And so the question I have is, see, there's not a good answer to this because it's clearly there's physical problems. There's clearly motivational problems. There's clearly coaching problems. Like, that's another problem I'm having the longer we're doing this show tonight, and I'm starting to process this more, is you got problems all over the place now. I don't trust the players, and they got physically beat up. All this coaching staff that we all were told is turning the corner, and you got these, they didn't do a good job. Nobody did a good job. What did everybody do all week? Watch my shows and read my articles, pumping everybody up? What did you do all week? Listen to everybody say you're awesome? What did you do all week?
Don, you're absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I just don't get. My wife and I sit here and watch these games every Saturday, jumping up and down. I mean, I remember the time NIU, I think it was in the fourth and third quarter, they fumbled that kickoff. I mean, I'm off my couch. I'm pointing Notre Dame's way. Like we have the ball. Everybody on the field is just standing there. I'm like, what is this? Why isn't everybody on that team hyped as I am? I just, last week I wanted to run out of the tunnel and die for Marcus Freeman coming out of that tunnel. This week, it was like they were at a funeral. You cannot have that. You cannot have that. The head coach is not meant to be. You just cannot lose to NIU. That is the worst loss, in my opinion, in Notre Dame history. They were flat once again. Go back to Marshall. Go back to Louisville. You cannot do this in a big program like this.
It's I don't know, man. It's ground zero, and you've anything. All that goodwill you gained last week is gone. It's all gone. It's just all gone, and now you're starting from below zero. And I don't know how you dig out from the ashes. It is, I don't know.
Not only that, if you're a recruit, I mean, I'm looking elsewhere. I mean, that was just, I just don't get it. We're home. I mean, we should have beat their doors off 60-something to nothing. I mean, why does Alabama do it year after year? Why does all these good teams do it year after year? And we have NIU come in our home, after a huge Texas A&M win. Everybody loves Freeman. Everybody loves Notre Dame football. We're the best. And you lay an egg like that. I mean, there was no halftime adjustments. None whatsoever. That cannot happen. I mean, we were getting pushed off the ball on offense all game. They ran the ball down our throat. We were as predictable on offense as anything I have ever seen in Pee Wee football and high school football. It was garbage. That offense was garbage today. And that just cannot happen. It can't. We have the athletes to win this game by 60 points. I'm telling you now, we have the athletes who are just not being coached. It's a coach that will take all the, hype, I'm the best. But when you lost, we weren't prepared. How are you? You don't even have to be prepared for NIU. You don't need to be prepared. You should win that game with your eyes closed at home.
Do we
something really wrong?
Do we think that they coached and prepared appropriately to go beat A&M in that environment, and then what? Took a vacation for this week? Like, I don't understand. Like, that stuff. I don't understand how you could put it all together for last week in that environment, and then this week have nothing. Did you literally just read your own press clippings all week and think you could roll the ball out there and beat these guys? They beat you in every single way. Every single way a football team beats another team, you got beat today. Out schemed, out executed, out efforted, just out everything. Outplayed, outplanned, everything. And they played really great, and good for Northern, man. They embarrassed you at your home in front of your people. I don't know how you dig out from this one, man. I don't know how you dig out from this. I don't.
I can't. I mean, there's not. Yeah, my wife's there in the background, fire the coaches. And I know it's not that easy. And I know everybody last week loves Freeman. But, John, that just cannot happen. I mean, there is people that go up to South Bend. We did last year for the USC game and had a blast. And let me tell you, Friday before the game, we went down on the field and all. Urban Meyer was standing right next to me. He's pointing out everything in Notre Dame Stadium. I know everybody hates to hear it, but with the NIL now and everything, I don't know if he's such a bad fit. I mean, I just never seen an Urban Meyer team come out as flat as all these Marcus Freeman teams. I mean, they just lay eggs. No adjustments whatsoever. Don't matter who's offensive coordinator, don't matter what. I mean, there has to be some blame on a head coach. There has to be.
Yeah,
and everybody loves them, but it's hard. John.
That's the big question I have is I don't know where the reality falls on the Freeman project when you are so high, giving him all this credit for having a finally like a statement win that you could plant a flag and have a foundation. He gets a signature SEC win. You felt like you were in a stable place. Not even a week later, and it's ground zero all over again. Total nightmare. Question it all. Ask any question you want. It's all fair game about the players, about the coaches, about everything. It's really rough, man. Anything else on the way out? Thanks for calling and venting. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, my man. Yeah. Thanks for your show, man. I mean, it helps a lot of us Irish fans out after these losses and wins. It's almost like you're a psychiatrist, like you're a counselor, man. You really do help a lot of people. I just wish that team could play a little better for us, John, and we're always smiling with sunglasses on and drinking gold chalices.
I know. Hey, man, look at it this way. At least I had a few days of being happy in my life. So at least I had that. Like literally, dude, I had a few days of having leverage over some other fan bases I don't like. I had it together, and it lasted a handful of days, and maybe I should just be glad that I had that. So we're back to ground zero, trusting nothing, believing in nothing, and getting made fun of. Naturally, we're back right to where Notre Dame's been most of my life. Awesome. Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah. Yep, you'll be all right, John. Thanks for everything.
Are you sure?
Really
Are you sure? You going to check my blood pressure? Thanks a lot, buddy. I didn't mean to cut him off like that. Goolsby, I don't think I saw that you said you were going to call. Let me know your first numbers or whatever. I don't think your name doesn't show up on the caller ID. I'm assuming it's going to be the Nebraska one. Mike, if you do call, I'll look for you and bump you, obviously, to hear what the former captain thinks of this. 219, you're on the line. What's going on, buddy?
John, and no offense to the last caller, no, we're not fine. No, we're not fine. We live and die Notre Dame. This hurts. This is where your chest hurts and your heart hurts.
JD, how do you even begin to process through this? Like, I know the way you love this team and this program and live and die every game. How do you begin to even process through this, man? Like what's going through your mind and your heart?
Okay, so I was at the game. I just had to wait till I could call you because, South Bend driving back, the, reception was terrible. So I had to wait till I got close to getting home. The fans were so excited. The campus was incredible. I've never taken so many pictures with people in my leprechaun outfit than I have this game. Everybody was fired up. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's yelling, "Go Irish." It was just the greatest thing ever. And then to come out with that performance hurts. And you know what? You walk through the bookstore, a sweatshirt costs $180. You go to the concession stand, $13.95 for a slice of pizza. You go to Park, it's $50. You look for a ticket, nothing less than $100 for a ticket. You're going to start doing that kind of stuff. We're going to pay all this NIL money. They want to be considered, they want to pay all this money for these athletes. Then we expect something to be on the field. So, yes, we have the right to boo them when they go off at halftime like that. Yes, we have the right to call into shows like this and be upset. We spend our hard-earned money on a program that's like this. If you don't want to charge $185 for a sweatshirt, charge $25. Let's be the Purdue and IUs of the world and the rest of Indiana and just worry about making a bowl game, go 6 and whatever, win 7 games, win 8 games, and thinks it's a great year. That's fine. Let's do that. So then maybe the prices will come down. The sweatshirts will be at a regular price, and we won't have to worry about being a national brand anymore. But if we're going to be a national brand, we're going to be a team that everyone hates, and the fan bases are like us that live in places that we get burned all the time and dissed because we're Notre Dame fans, then yes, we are going to be pissed. So you got to either produce a product out there and figure it out.
Yeah, I feel that frustration, man. I feel that frustration. It's just, JD, I'm really, really struggling with how high it was last week, and just a week later, it's all gone. Like, that's how fast it could all fall apart, man. All those dreams, all those hopes, all of the kudos, all the articles, all the podcasts, the national people. Notre Dame had the biggest win of the week, the opening week, and all that stuff, man. To have it crash down like this, where you totally got dominated by Northern Illinois. They did everything better than you, from preparation to execution to coaching to adjustments to big plays when you needed it. They did it all. It's a bad spot, JD. Really bad spot.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be different how we're feeling right now. If we would have won Texas A&M and played like we did against Northern Illinois and would have got ran over by Texas, and we would have beaten Illinois, like, well, yeah, we beat Northern Illinois, but we couldn't even play the big boys. So it really, like you said, last week we had our one to give, and now we gave it, and it's like, but still, you guys have to, and I feel so bad for Marcus and these guys, and it's like the players and everybody, I feel terrible for, but you got to come out prepared better than that. And you got to find something. Then that's what happens when you play for Notre Dame and you coach for Notre Dame. You knew that when you accepted that coaching job. You knew that when you signed that scholarship. That's why all these kids decommit and don't want to come to Notre Dame. It's hard. That's why Marcus says we choose hard. Well, yeah, because it's going to be hard. And it's hard as a fan. Just like we should sign a petition. Oh, when we're Notre Dame fans, we choose hard. And I'm still going to be wearing my leprechaun outfit at Purdue next Saturday. I'm still going to be wearing my leprechaun outfit at the Always Irish tailgate. And I'm still going to be smiling, and I'm still going to be cheering on the Irish. I'm never going to stop doing that, just like you're not. But we have every right to be pissed off and upset. Because if the players and the coaches ain't pissed off and upset, then there's a problem with that. And we better come out of the freaking gates next week, and we better blow Purdue out by 28 points. And then we better win the next 4 or 5 games by 21 or more, or this ain't the team that we've been rooting for and hoping for. Yep.
It's a tough way to live, man. And, but I know the way you live and die with this stuff. And, I tell you, man, I appreciate your loyalty to Notre Dame, man. You're a true fan. And, it just feels like maybe we deserve better than this, but maybe we don't. Maybe we don't, JD. So I want you to find a way to enjoy your family the rest of the weekend, watch some NFL or something. And then at a minimum, maybe we can at least hang out in a couple weeks from the tailgate and at least be amongst friends. If we're not going to get good football, we'll be together and hang in there, man. But I know where you're coming from, JD. You're really hurt, and it's justified.
Absolutely, man. I know the whole fan base is hurt. We just got to hang in there. But again, be upset, and we should be upset. It's okay to be upset. So don't anybody that thinks that it's not okay it is okay to be upset. And it hurts, and it should hurt, and it's going to hurt tomorrow too, and it's going to hurt the next day, and it's going to probably hurt the rest of the season. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I said we're still going to be Irish. We're still going to be green all the way. But I'm hurting like this. I'm hurt. Like my chest hurts and my heart hurts, and it ain't going to go away. Nothing's going to make it better. I mean, you both know that we can try to distract ourselves, but we both know we're still going to be pacing and hurting tomorrow morning when we wake up. But hey, I'll be glad when I get to see you at the tailgate and spend some time with you. And no matter what, win or lose, brother, we're going to be there together.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. And it's a good group of people, and I'm excited to see everybody. So, JD, take care, man. Try and be with the family. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and God bless you, man. You're a loyal Notre Dame son. I love you for that. You know that.
You too. You too. Hey, we love you too, John. Thank you for doing this, because without you, we won't have something to fix you. And to all the Notre Dame fans, just hang in there. We love you all. And we just got to hang in there. We got to hang in together. Let's got to fight together.
Appreciate it. Thanks, JD. Take care, man. Also, shout out to Sweaty Mike Singer over at Blue and Gold. I think they probably ended their show and then sent some of their people over here if they want to prolong the misery. So Mike was in here. Thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. Oh boy. All right. I believe this is Mike Goolsby, former Notre Dame captain. I'm sure he's going to have some opinions on this. If it isn't him, somebody in Nebraska is getting a hell of an intro. 402. What do you want to do? Welcome to the show.
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely terrible, absolutely awful. I am totally miserable. But thanks for asking, Mike.
I am legitimately and I'm truly legitimately I'm stunned.
Yeah.
You know me, John. I've usually got a lot to say, and I'm kind of stunned. Texted Coach Clark, we're going to get into the all 22 film, and I'm like, brother, we can go through every offensive snap on Patreon if you want. Like, I want to watch this whole game. He's like, dude, we're doing it. He's like, I need some answers. We all need some answers.
Yeah, it's Mike, it's just I'm really, really struggling. The high of last week, and then to come in this low now, it's throwing everybody off. Like, it is just, it's really alarming. Like, just to be so high and then come in here. And Mike, did they not prepare? What did you see? Did they just not prepare? What?
So I watched it live. I have yet to watch the TV copy back and prep before you get I get the coach's film tomorrow. But dude, you said this yourself. And this is part of the beauty of the game that we love so much. It's like, okay, wide receiver room. I'm going to wait until I see it, right, John? I'm going to wait until I see it. I'm not going to believe this legacy media, all this baloney hype, all through the offseason about the wide receiver room. Riley Leonard played like hot garbage, but I'm also telling you, if you're Denbrock, you've got a young offensive line that got dominated. They got dominated. They weren't moving anybody in the run game. They held up well in pass coverage, but I'm telling you, there's not a lot of people open, and if they were open, Riley Leonard had probably the worst game of his life. And then defensively speaking, that's the disgusting part to me as a washed-up Mike linebacker. And John, we talked about this on Patreon. Like, we are so vulnerable in Al Golden's scheme to the run game, and it's like Northern Illinois watched that tape. They've watched last season's tape. It's like they didn't overthink it. They just ran the ball. You know what I'm saying? And we can never stop people. John, you've talked about this ad nauseum. It's just like, when we need a stop on defense, we can't get it. We love to give up chunk run plays. And so, like, there's an X's and O's element to this. Absolutely. We got out coached. And then beyond that, I've been saying this for going on 5 years now, podcasting, those day games at Notre Dame Stadium as a player, they're tough. I do not know what it is. I do not know what it is. I do not have the answer, but I'm just telling you, day games at Notre Dame Stadium, it's weird. And this might sound like unthinkable to your listeners and Notre Dame fans in general, but like, as a player, it's tough to get up for. You got to play them. But it's just like, you come out flat in these day games over and over. I mean, it happened when I was there, but, I'll see you tomorrow night. And I want to be respectful to your show and your callers, but dude, I'm sick, man.
Yeah.
I'm sick.
Yeah. It's like stomach turning, Mike. Like, I feel my stomach turning and it's just like, it makes last week just feel like such a waste, that you did so many good things and got that credibility and everything. And then, it lasted a handful of days. Mike, I want to give Northern credit though. We did terribly to prepare, adjust, execute, coach, play, everything we were bad at. I give them a ton of credit. They were not scared of this moment at all. Those guys have been waiting for this moment. They had no fear. They were not scared of the moment. Big bad Notre Dame Stadium. Who cares? The big gold helmets, that golden dome. They didn't give a crap. And they went in there and executed. And they never flinched. And congratulations to them. They beat the hell out of Notre Dame in front of Notre Dame's own fans. And it was embarrassing, Mike.
At the home opener, nonetheless.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of football, John. It's like star ratings, scheme, NIL, blah, 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 blah. At a certain point in time, you're going to line up, you're going to roll the ball out, you're going to put your hand in the dirt, you're going to play. And it's like, we said this, they're on scholarship too. and it's everybody's Super Bowl. And I'm going to be honest with you, John. We didn't do any content this week because I was just kind of like, maybe I was a little hungover from that A&M week, but I'm just like, something didn't feel right to me kind of like going into this. And I'm looking back, I'm like, why didn't I want to put out any content? But this loss is on Freeman. And then some stuff. I've shared some stuff with you offline in terms of like transfer portal, quarterback decisions. You know the stuff I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, we had options. We had options in the portal, but this was the quarterback that Coach Freeman and staff wanted.
Yeah. So I don't know, Mike. I don't know where this leaves the team overall, because now nobody knows what to expect one game today. There's you can't trust or rely on anything. You have no idea what to expect. That's short term. Big picture. I don't know where this leaves the Freeman era as far as confidence and trust in that. And like, does this bad loss outdo all the good credit you got last week? And because this is off the radar, so on the bad side, it wipes that out. I don't know where anything stands right now. And that's,
oh my God,
that's causing me a lot of anxiety because I don't have stable footing on anything right now, Mike. Everything feels unstable and I hate it.
No, and it's John, you've got ESPN of all the media entities talking about a shift in the dynamic at Notre Dame, right? Like we've woken up the echoes, right? We've woken up the echoes. It's a different team under Marcus Freeman. It's a different image, blah, 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 blah. Right? All week.
Yeah.
You start to kind of sip on that Kool-Aid. And then this is what happens. I mean, it's a bad loss, an incredible fall from grace. I mean, we're top 5 in the country and got beat up, got out-schemed, and we'll get into the scheme, out-efforted, 2 field goals blocked.
Yep.
So either way, I'll leave you alone. I just wanted to touch base. Couldn't help myself. Love what you do.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you, man. It's we're gonna have a really, really tough, interesting week. But the one thing I could promise the Patreon people, the people on, wherever we both do our YouTube stuff, is we're gonna ride through it with you guys, and we're gonna try and figure out what we can and work through with you guys. And I can't wait to see you and Jared break down the film, and we'll get back on it. I'm sure your YouTube show will be interesting tomorrow too. So everybody stay tuned with us. And Mike, I really appreciate you giving me a call, man. Just a really tough day for Notre Dame football fans and the team and everybody. Just, it hurts, man. This fan base is hurting, Mike.
All right. I'll see you Monday night, buddy.
All right. I'll talk to you, man. Try and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thanks for the call. That is your former captain, linebacker, Mike Goolsby, checking in with you. Just my word. This is what a struggle. 615, you're coming up. And hold on. Who else did I have? Somebody donated 859. 615, what's going on? Hello. You're on the air.
Hi, John. How are you?
Terrible. But thanks for asking. That's very respectful. You know what? I got to give all these callers credit. Most of them have started with, "Hi, John. How are you?" I really appreciate it. Everybody knows I'm miserable, but it's the polite thing to do. Thank you. You guys are really nice, even when we're all miserable. Thank you.
Well, we're all in this together. First things first, got to give all the credit to NIU. I mean, they played their heart out today.
Yep.
Yep. And Notre Dame just came out there completely flat, dead, just nothing behind it. The only person that seemed like they put half an effort in was Xavier Watts. That's even questionable.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about it. The big picture stuff right now, I don't necessarily feel like it matters. Like, today was the most important game of the year. It was going to determine what kind of team it was. What were they going to do after that worldly of a win last week? And they showed they couldn't handle it.
Man, I'm telling you, I took some heat when I released that short yesterday. And it was me yelling, saying, we're flying high. What could go wrong against NIU? And I said, you go in there and Marshall yourself, Stanford yourself, and Toledo yourself. And it's exactly what we did. Sleepy day games, not much energy, a team that doesn't excite anybody. The team sleeps. And before you know it, Notre Dame's in a position to lose, man. There's only 12 of these in a year. You just cannot afford to sleepwalk through any of them. You only get 12.
And everyone talks about, trying to salvage the season, get 11-1. It doesn't matter. It today proved the mentality of the team, the mentality of the Freeman era has not changed. There's not that next step, the next level. The team's going nowhere, really.
Yeah, but how could last week be so different? Like, no one thought that last week. Nobody was saying fire Freeman last week. Everybody was saying he got a signature win. How do we grapple with those two things? What you're feeling and saying right now and that feeling last week, which is the truth? Or is this one so bad it wipes out the high end? Blyberg saying John is delusional. What am I delusional about? I'm sitting here miserable for 2 hours and 24 minutes trying to navigate through this nightmare. What am I delusional about? Am I saying everything's fine? Everything's great? Freeman did a good job. Give him an extension. The team played great and had bad luck. What am I delusional for? Sorry, caller.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. The thing, Freeman, is either figure it out or get out. He either does not show up in the big games, or they get a big win, and then they sleepwalk to the game and lay a goose egg. It's a mentality thing, and it just doesn't seem to be there.
Oh man, this is so I don't know where you go from here. I don't know. You can't trust this team now. You can't trust them in any game, any moment. You don't have momentum. Now you're floating around in nowhere land now. You're floating around in nowhere land. This is just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it. Where the team's in the situation now, and there's no clear direction. And there's been several times in the past 2 years where the team's been in that situation, where it's like, well, what's next? There's no real roadmap.
Bro, you got to be kidding me. 190 yards rushing for Northern Illinois to go along with 198 yards passing against Northern Illinois. What did you do? Drink beer and party all week reading your press clippings? I don't understand.
Everyone's saying how this is one of the best defenses in the country. Well, where was it today? You're getting bullied off the line.
Telling you, man.
Benjamin Morrison has so many blown coverages. He's supposed to be the best cornerback in the league. Where was that team today that held against one, Texas A&M?
There's no redeeming qualities. That's another problem. There is not one thing that's even remotely acceptable about any of this. It is just a complete and absolute abject failure in the worst way, where you can't have it the most. And I just don't know I don't know what that defense, the best defense in the country, or whatever, you got bullied around by Northern Illinois. So I can't believe in you either now. I can't believe in them either. The offense we knew was kind of a work in progress, but I can't trust the defense now either. Yeah, it is the worst of worst cases, man. So I don't know what you do from here. Cross your fingers and hope you show up in West Lafayette? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when I first, called, I thought, I knew what I was going to say, but now I'm actually here and I'm thinking, what is there to say? Like, you come up with a blank when it comes to this team right now.
Yeah,
that's the most frustrating spot to be in.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. This is a really bad spot. It's a bad spot. Anything else on your mind, man? I just don't know where we go from here.
That's about it. All I got leaving. I guess go Irish.
Go Irish. God bless you. God bless you. Throw that in there.
Hop off here. Do 2 quizzes for my alma mater, Tennessee Tech. Just got blown out by Georgia today.
No, man.
So, there it is.
Well, geez. All right, man. Hang in there. Have a good weekend. Watch some NFL ball tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Yeah. See ya. Take it easy.
You got it.
Oh, my word. This is, it's just, oh, man. What am I trying to find here? 859, you're on the line. What's going on?
Hey, John, how you doing?
Terrible, but I appreciate you asking. That's very respectful.
Yeah, so let me just go over a few things. Just thoughts on some comments people have said and just what I saw from the game. First of all, like the narrative, well, they just didn't prepare. Coaches didn't have them prepared. The guys just weren't ready for the game. Like, just stop. That's just a lazy take. These guys work like however many hundreds of hours. Like, it's not a lack of preparation.
So then is it, so wait, so then is it all execution? Is it all execution then? If they did all that, then you're telling me Northern Illinois came in here and out executed Notre Dame to this extent at home? And that's all it is? What else could it be?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, execution for sure. I'd say that's at least 90% of it. Defensively, yeah, they got bullied in the run game. And they're getting 5-8 yard gains. And Goolsby pointed that out on the Patreon breakdown I watched of defense. Golden just probably got 2 in the first half, got too complex with the scheme, and they're running a really basic offense. If we're playing like at an elite passing team or a really good quarterback, it's like, yeah, that the complex stuff we run, that works. But if they're just throwing screens and running the ball and dominating us up front, like his calls that hurt us, and that's what killed us in the first half. But this isn't even on the defense. We gave up 16 points. You give up 16 points in 2024 in a college football game, you better win. This is all on the offense.
The concept that you would come back home and score 14 points against Northern Illinois at home with a quarterback that who has all this experience, and you went and you paid him all that money to come in here and lead your team. Something doesn't add up. And I'm just trying to figure out where it is, because something doesn't add up.
Well, I'll give you my thoughts, what I noticed, at least scheme-wise and offense, what was going on. So it's like a melting pot of issues. Receivers really can't get open. And if they do get open, Riley's probably going to miss him. Kind of bad ball.
You want to know?
Going to have to stop and catch the ball. They're not going to throw it to him in stride.
I kind of think you're right. I kind of think I have a problem with both parts of the passing game. The guy throwing it, and I don't feel like a lot of people get open. And so I don't like either of those. And also, I know that line is young, but you kind of got pushed around by Northern Illinois most of the day. And that's unacceptable if you're at Notre Dame. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're right. The line absolutely got pushed around in the run game. I mean, how many runs did we have where we had 1 to 3 yards versus them? They would have, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. But then again, back to the passing. So Riley just has really bad pocket presence and pocket awareness. If he drops back and that first read isn't open, he's just instinctively, he's going to roll to his right and run. And Garrett mentioned this a few times. He drops back so far doing that, it makes it really easy for the pass rush to get to him, because he just keeps dropping back and back and back. I mean, it's tough. Multiple times this game, he would look at his first read, it wasn't open, and I could see guys were open, like maybe on the left side of the field. He's not even looking over there. He's looking at his first guy. He's like, he's not there. I'm just going to roll out and hopefully something good happens. And that killed us. And then the play calling, the play calling was rough. We could really, the only passing plays we could hit were curls. And, the run game wasn't great. And then, 2nd and 1 with 5 minutes left? Like, Denbrock, you can see the passing game has been absolutely terrible the first 2 games. 2nd and 1, just run the ball, get the first down. Worst case scenario, they stop us after that and we have to punt and then make them drive down the field. But yeah, it was just absolutely brutal. And, the staff has to see this. Like, I'm not acting like I'm a football god or anything, but I know ball pretty well. Like, I can see that Riley Leonard is obviously way less accurate than Minchie and Carr. And it's just like, why? What are we doing? Why do we go to the portal to get another quarterback that can't make progressions? How many years has it been at Notre Dame where we have a quarterback, he makes first read isn't open, he's just going to run? Since Ian Book, it's been 6-7 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. At least Carr and Minchie, they can make progression reads. They can go 1, he's not open, 2, 3, 4, and then they'll take off. It's unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. 14 points at home.
Yeah.
And I was all in on Freeman, but it's really got me just questioning everything. Like, I just really don't know.
It's fair.
This is the worst loss I've ever seen.
It's totally fair to question everything like that. And it's just an unspeakable, unmitigated, complete disaster. You just couldn't afford if you're Freeman in this regime. It is just so the one thing you just couldn't have, and it's occurred. And I don't know where you go from here. Thanks for the call, though. Very calmly going through that. Anything else you want to go over? Thank you.
Yeah, it's brutal, but it is only one game, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, this offense, highest paid coordinator at $2 million. I mean, we could have thrown Drew Pine and freaking Tommy Reese out there. We would have gotten 14 points. I mean, come on now. Yep. This is ridiculous. We could have got Ron Powell. We could have got Ron Powell Jr. for free. We could have saved that $2 million.
Yeah, it's not what you go to the portal to get. It's really rough. Hey, man, try and hang in there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay? Watch some NFL or something.
Yeah, you too, John. Love the Patreon. Keep up the work.
Oh, thank you, man. We'll still get it going. Trust me, we'll still get it going. There's no doubt about that. 704, what's going on?
Hey, yeah, man. Appreciate you getting to me. I'm pretty pissed off right now. I think the problems in this team are obvious. Riley Leonard sucks. His pocket awareness is terrible. His accuracy is terrible. His arm strength's mediocre. And this has been a problem for us for a long time. Running read option offense don't work with our personnel. We got big NFL-style O-linemen. We haven't been under center one time this whole year as far as I'm concerned. Not one time. We don't run any play-action passes. And it's really frustrating. And this falls on Freeman. And it pains me to say this because I had high hopes for Freeman. But he's a great defender. He has no idea what offensive identity he wants this team to have. And if he did, and this is what he wants, a Buckner or a Leonard, one read option, we're never going to get him, man. And I see people blaming the wide receivers, and they're not the problem. They're not great. They're not running wide open by 10 yards, but there are spots where they're open. We need a pocket pass through QB that can distribute the ball, make reads on the defense, and that's when his team looked better even when Drew Pine was quarterback, man. As bad as he was, as little talent, those are some of our better games. Because we actually ran an offense that fit our personnel. And Freeman don't understand this. And he's got a bench Leonard, and Jelly or Minchie in there. And that's the only chance we have around, man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Again, I asked earlier, like 2 hours ago, what is that limit? Like, where do they look at it and go, yeah, we're not getting out of the quarterback what we want, and we think we'll actually do better with the younger guy? Like, where is that line? I don't know where that line is, where they're going to go, this isn't working out. We're not getting what we want out of this transfer guy. Is it after 2 games? They'd be a ballsy move. I don't know if I see Notre Dame doing that.
Well, the line was today, in my opinion. Leonard played ridiculously bad. I mean, throwing balls 5 yards behind guys, the underthrown ball. At Great House, he wasn't wide open, but if you had a QB that had the arm to lay him out there on that deep ball, you know, give him a chance to make a play on it. Leonard underthrew that thing by 15 yards. Easy interception. Man, you can't do worse than Leonard. And like I said, it doesn't fit up. It's not what Notre Dame should be running.
Yeah, it's very, very frustrating. Hey, man, I do not mean to hang up on you, but your phone is cutting out. I tried to bump you up and give you the time, but your phone is terrible. I can't hear anything. Timmy Ides in here over from Blue and Gold. 2 loss equal Pop-Tart Bowl, and you make a change at QB. So there you go. I'm asking where is that division? Where is that line to where you're like, this just is not what we need out of this, that we tried and it isn't working. This way, I do understand this is really pretty helpful. I asked where the line is, and Hyde is literally making the line and saying, if you lose that second one with this being one of them, forget that playoff. And then you go do whatever you do, you prepare for something else. You do something else. And is that going to be Angeli, or do you? Today is just the one it couldn't be, you guys. It was just the one it couldn't be. You couldn't do this one. It couldn't be this again, and it was. It'll either make you cry or make you laugh. How bad this is. 707. What's going on?
Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's going on?
Oh man, it's
these are dark times, my friend. These are dark times, my friend. Make me feel better. Give me something.
I wish I could, but
where do you even start? Where do you even start? You've seen a lot of Notre Dame football. I'm not trying to date you here, but you're a couple, generation older than me at least. You've seen more Notre Dame than I have over the years. Where do you even start digging out of the rubble on this one? I need guidance. I don't know. Where do you start to even dig out of this?
You make changes is what you do, and you have to have the guts. Freeman has to have the guts to tell Denbrock, who I was never sold on to begin with. He didn't have anything today, and his quarterback, that guy is terrible. So I put in Angeli until he plays as bad a game as Riley Leonard played today. I just let him go and eat your losses on your money spent on a guy that's just another transfer quarterback that wasn't great, that you paid money to come play. That guy stinks. And then, in the end of the game, it was impending doom because they kept on letting Mills play. Where did Donovan Heinisch go? I mean, I don't know. I slept the first half because I had a bad sleep the night before, so I didn't really see much of the first half. But I saw when I picked it up in the second half, it was close, and I was like, I don't want to watch the first half. I don't care to see a close game with this nothing team. Well, these guys they have more experience than Notre Dame, but it doesn't matter. They're a MAC team. I mean, you just don't. This doesn't happen. You make changes, and you make big changes, and I would go with Younger now forever until they play as bad as these guys in front of them, like Riley Mills. I would never let him see the field anymore. And I would never let Kaiser play anymore. They have too many good linebackers that need the work. We don't need a sixth-year guy that's not going to go to the NFL, that's not good, that's not big enough. Play in the middle. Put him on the edge so he can see the quarterback, and he's quick enough to do stuff like that, but he sucks in the middle. And these are the kind of things that Jason Anye, or whatever his first name is, I don't know. He's terrible. Last week he was horrible. And now, you're going with guys like him when you have other young guys, that are higher recruits.
So now here's the thing though. What are the odds that with one loss at only week 2 that they're going to be willing to make all these large scale changes? Most of the chat here wants Freeman out. Well, that isn't going to happen the rest of this year. Most of those people aren't going to be happy. Most of these people want the quarterback to be changed. Like what are I don't know what the likelihood is they're going to have the guts to do all this after one loss after week 2 to start changing all this. I just don't know if I see them doing that.
Yeah, I think this is a game that Steve Angeli would have won. And, we saw that Leonard couldn't win. He was terrible. That throw, I couldn't believe how horrible it was. That interception was like Tommy Reeves was like that, but even Tommy Reeves wouldn't make it that obvious of a bad play. Like he'd at least throw it right to a guy that's being, covered and the guy makes a play on it. But there's just no way. There's no excuse for this loss. This is not a good, nearly as good of a team as we thought they were. And why didn't Jaden Thomas get some work? Like that guy always catches the ball. I didn't see him out there. Denbrock is not impressive to me. He didn't show anything today that was creative, like they all just went through the motions trying to look and see who's going to give them the spark. And everyone just kept on looking at each other.
Yeah.
And there was no spark.
You're right. Like you just kept waiting for a moment where like somebody would make a play or they'd make two plays and roll them together and start to do enough to like take enough control that you could just get through it or whatever.
And let everybody pick up on it.
Yeah. And it just never happened. And you kept feeling these moments like, could this be? And it just, you never did it. And it just makes you wonder, where's the leadership? Where's the mentality? And that's
what I don't understand.
Dude, I don't get it. Offensively, dude, what were you even trying to do offensively for most of this game? I just don't even, this is all just so awful.
Yeah. That's what the main problem was Denbrock and then Leonard, like you had two guys that just totally failed, they must have called in the game. Like, what was the practices like this week, like,
I'm struggling with all this. And again, the bigger picture thing when I zoom out is we're back to having no stability and foundation in the Freeman era again. Like, I know a lot of people want him gone or whatever already. I'm just telling you, there's no foundation or anything you could trust anymore again. You thought you built some of that last week. It's all gone, and you're back to like, we don't know where we are here, and there's nothing we can rely on and count on. And that's not where you want to be getting into year 3 in the Meteor schedule. It's so frustrating, and it just feels like you're not even starting at ground zero. You're underground, and it ain't a good place to be, man.
Yeah. Nope.
Anything else on your mind, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call. It's just your voice calms me down. Thank you. It helped my blood pressure.
Yeah.
Help my blood pressure.
That's actually why I called, John, because I know when you get on for so many minutes and then minutes turn into hours and it's a loss to a MAC team, I really have to admire you for that, because I couldn't do it.
It's been a joy. Yeah, it's been a joy. Let me tell you.
I'd probably get kicked off of YouTube if I had a show because of my own.
You know what, man?
Behavior.
Listen, it's an obligation. I do not feel comfortable after this game and the Ohio State game last year. Multiple people reached out to me and said, just don't even go live. You're going to get in trouble and you don't want what's coming. Take a day to think about it and go live tomorrow when you calm down. Right. That's cowardly. If I'm on here last week with shades on and a big chain saying it's the big game chain and we did all this, I have an obligation to be here and take my shots when we fall flat on our face, and I'm taking them. So everybody who wants to troll me. That's the business. That's what I'm here for. I could take it. Whatever, man.
Well, I'll leave you with God bless you and God bless all you Notre Dame fans out there. It's a tough one that you just got to suck it up. And these happen when you play sports. These things happen, and you just got to pull yourself together, man up, get fucking pissed, and get ready for that next game. And then you go balls out and you hit anything you see out there that isn't your color.
Yeah, it's man, this is going to be a rough upcoming week in Notre Dame land, and we'll work our way through it. Thanks for the call.
All right, John.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Oh, my word. Oh, boy. Mr. Jack Sacco, what's going on?
Johnny, I would ask you how you're doing. I know how you're doing.
I'm struggling, man. This is it's my stomach's turning, and it is this is just it couldn't be this. And especially after what we thought was building last week, it couldn't be this, Jack. You are a veteran Notre Dame man. You're a wise Notre Dame man. You're a revered Notre Dame man. You're a successful Notre Dame man. You're a Notre Dame man that has seen many head coaches succeed and win in Notre Dame, and many teams come through adversity. Jack, where do you even begin to dig through and sort through this one, man? I'm struggling. Help me out. Where do you begin to dig out of this wreckage?
Well, John, first you have to acknowledge, in order to understand where you need to go, you have to acknowledge where you are. And I don't know another way to say this other than Notre Dame sucks right now. We do, our coaching staff does, our players do, our execution does. I don't know. I mean, people were telling me today on Twitter, no, the defense looks good. The defense did not look good to me because the other team won the game. By definition, the defense didn't look good if the other team won the game. And by definition, the other team making 6-7 yards per carry or whatever, first down, throwing passes all over the field, making 98-yard drives. That's not a good defense as far as I'm concerned. Now, the offense was even worse because, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe Riley Leonard's mom is right when she texts him every week. I don't know. But I don't even know what to say. I've been through it a lot, you know, in my Notre Dame life. Although when I was here, we won a lot of championships, so we did able to come back. You know, in 1977, I think everybody knows this. Nobody really wants. I don't even want to say this, but you know, we did win the first game. We lost the second game to Ole Miss. We came back and won the championship. But we also had a guy on our team named Joe Montana. And we had a whole bunch of All-Americans like Ross Browner and Luther Bradley and those type of guys. And despite the fact that we also had Dan Devine, we also had a good coaching staff other than him, who basically took over that year and won the championship. And I really credit the guys on that team. This team, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I honestly wish I could just go inside and spend a week or two with the team and watch what they do and how they think and what's being told to them, because something's off. Something's off on the inside for a team to come out like this and play like this and perform like this, embarrass themselves. I mean, the Huskies of Northern Illinois just dominated the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in their house. So,
yep.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what you know. I don't know what they do. How you let that happen, coming off of a big win. I just don't understand that. You know, that mentality. It's not a championship mentality, and it needs to change. And you know, I'm like you. I'm a big fan of Marcus Freeman, but only if Marcus Freeman is winning games. You know, like I'm a big fan of Jerry Faust too. He's a very nice guy, but not to be the coach of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So,
and then, you know, Tim
needs to shape it up.
Tim Hyde here, who is over at the Blue and Gold, does stuff over there. He mentions how Freeman's doing a good job of getting these guys hyped for the big games. You know, both the Ohio State games Notre Dame was ready for. You know, last week Notre Dame was ready for that. But that's only half the equation. That doesn't mean you don't need to be prepared for all the middle level and the lower tier games. And that seems to be a problem. We haven't gotten through to the guys or the coaching staff or whatever. That message is not getting through, apparently.
It's got to be the coaching staff. I mean, the players are the same players. So it's got to be what they're thinking going into that week. It's got to be their mindset. And that's my experience is that always goes back to the coaches. That's what they're paid millions of dollars to do. Get the team ready to play. They only play once a week. You know, it's not like they play every day. They play one game a week, and that's the only game they do. And they only play 12 or 13 or 14 games a year.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a lot of money. You know, get the guys ready. Understand that. Guess what? If you lose to Northern Illinois, that counts as an L on your record.
Yeah.
It's not just because you beat Texas A&M the week before. It doesn't erase the losses. There are W's and there are L's, and that's all that's going to show up on the scoreboard.
Jack, the problem I have is last week, I've been walking around town for a week feeling like I have some foundation under me regarding the Freeman era. That was the signature win that we were waiting for. You felt like you were in a better place and you knew what you could kind of get and rely on. That floor just got pulled out from under us. And now it's so uncomfortable because I'm in a spot where I can't trust anything again. There we are again. I can't trust anything again.
Yeah, it's it's like an earthquake. I mean, one of the psychological things that an earthquake does to people is that it makes you feel unsecure, like you think the actual ground underneath you is shaking, and it makes you feel like very uncertain about what's happening, because that's one thing that should be solid. The same thing with something like this. You go through a win like at Texas A&M, you go through some of these big wins like Tim mentioned, and then you come out and you lose to a team that you should beat by 4 touchdowns. And you look like you're entitled to just win the game because of the logo on your chest, and that's just not. I mean, what would Frank Leahy be thinking right now?
Frank would never end up in the position to be in the position to end up in the position to even consider this kind of result happening, Jack. That's what would happen to Frank. He would never be, the mentality instilled would never allow it even to get this far. That's what would happen to Frank.
If Frank were alive today, he'd be rolling over in his grave.
Yeah, but his grave made for him ahead of time. I like it. Oh man, Jack, this is so rough, man. This is really, really rough. And so I don't know where you go from here, Jack. You got to try and win a game next week and go to Purdue, and you just got to try and figure something out here. But this was the one. It couldn't be in a moment. It couldn't be after a high point. It just couldn't be this, Jack. You got any other words of wisdom for us here? I can't wait, Jack. I got a long night ahead of me. When I'm done with this show, then I'm going to go write articles the rest of the night. So this is just going to be a joy. It's going to be a joy. I'm just going to write my little heart out. There's a lot of thoughts I got to get out.
You might as well write all night because you're not going to be able to sleep.
I know.
So
yeah, I may as well.
We'll just be writing. But no, I don't have any. I mean, I don't have any words of wisdom. I could just rant and I could just talk craziness, which I'm really good at doing. But I don't have any real words of wisdom for anybody other than it hurts. It's embarrassing. It's unfortunately I had a bad feeling about this game. I have a bad feeling about every game until we win it. It's just the way I think about things.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Southern Florida, or whatever they're called, South Florida, is about to score on Alabama again and go up in the third quarter. But anyway, that's a little side note. But I have a bad feeling about every game until we actually win it.
That's a real modern. That's a modern Notre Dame vibe there, Jack. It's to feel bad about every game until it's over and we win it. You can't trust anything, Jack. You can't trust anything. You just can't. You can't. No. You can't trust anything.
The opposite.
Oh,
back in my day, I never thought we were going to lose, even if we were behind. And there was like 5 seconds on the clock, but there's always a way for us to win because, we just had that championship mentality. And that mentality has got to come back. We get that mentality. We get the recruits. We get the coaches. We get, there are ways to do it. And, there are a lot of people who say Notre Dame, it'll never happen at Notre Dame again. Well, it happened at Notre Dame more than it's ever happened anywhere. We've had more coaches win championships. We've technically had more championships than any other place, including Alabama. That's a whole nother rant. But, Notre Dame is the place where we can do it. We have done it. And so we can do it again. We will do it again, but it's just going to take the right mentality and some, it's going to take some, I don't know how to say this either, but it's going to take some ass kicking.
Yeah.
So,
Jack,
sometimes you got to do that.
Hey, thanks for giving me a call, man. You're a true Notre Dame man, and I respect you for that. And thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Johnny.
Yep. Take care, man. Hang in there. Oh, my word. 570. Where do you want to go?
Johnny boy.
What's going on?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
It is just a miserable day in Notre Dame land. How do you begin to think your way through this, pick up the pieces? Where's your mind at?
Well, I've been listening to your show for a long time. I love what you do. I just want to give you a heads up on that.
Thank you.
A lot of the callers I see have the same mindset. We all want to go new quarterback. Mike Denbrock's a bum. The offense stinks. Where I come down to it, you look at Mike Denbrock at Cincinnati with Desmond Ritter, last year in LSU with Jane Daniels. The guy did not forget how to coach. It didn't happen. Riley Leonard in 2022, almost 3,000 yards. Sam Hartman, almost 13,000 yards, ACC leader. This is a Marcus Freeman problem. It is. And I love Marcus Freeman. We're stuck with him, which I'm glad we are. I think but he has handcuffed these quarterbacks and this offensive coordinator. It doesn't matter if we put CJ Carr in. Doesn't matter if we put Kenny Minchie in. Did you hear him before the game talking to one of the reporters that said Riley Leonard doesn't have to push the ball downfield. He'll stay in the offense and he'll do what we want him to do.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. You come off a win, one of the better wins in the last 3-4 years, which I would say
3-4 years. That's one of the better wins in like 20 years, man. Like, honestly, that was a big win for what it meant.
It was. But first year coaching with Elko in the program, I think that comes a lot to do with it.
It does, but it was the moment. And it was the moment that we were in and Freeman was in the scenario, and being year 3, game 1 and all that. It was all of that build up. Not just about how good A&M was or not, but it was the whole moment wrapped around it. It was a big moment, man. It was a big moment.
And I would still take that win and losing today than it being flip-flop. Because I think if we get down the road and we're 10-1, it's going to look better with a win against A&M.
I've thought of this too. I totally get your way of thinking. Nobody wants to hear it, but I thought of that. I said that about 3 hours ago on this show. It's all blending in now. I said something like, you could always lose a dumb game to any team you shouldn't lose. Like, anybody could do that. Not everybody could go into a tough environment and win a road game in the SEC against when you have a bad matchup up front or whatever. Like, I totally get that, but nobody wants to hear it.
No one wants to hear it.
Yeah.
That game still holds a lot of. Now, today was absolutely horrible. It was a gut punch. And Marcus Freeman this is why I love Marcus Freeman so much, because he gets, when he's an underdog or it's an equal opponent, he gets his team ready to play. Like, those guys, when you saw what he did in the tunnel, those guys would run through a wall, and they came out focused, and they came out ready to play, and they came out to do whatever they had to do against 107,000 people that hate Notre Dame. Going to play someone that they hate Notre Dame. And they did their job. Now today, and you said it, Goolsby said it earlier, these 3:30 games against mediocre teams, it's a little dead. You can't always get up. But this is the big thing. This is where Marcus Freeman had his biggest issues in the last couple of years, are these mediocre games that I don't know if he handcuffs guys, or he's just like, we're going to stick to the game plan and I'm going to beat it until it's dead. I'm not going to change anything. I think our players are better. We'll just survive and advance. Well, that might work sometimes, but you're going against a team that has how many 6-year seniors, 5th-year seniors? This is one of the oldest teams that are going to play all year. And they're probably not going to be too intimidated coming to Notre Dame Stadium, especially being Northern Illinois. There might be a lot of guys that know Notre Dame's program, and they have a chip on their shoulder that they were never good enough to go to Notre Dame.
Yep.
So they might be coming in with a totally different mentality. Say, you know what, we're going to come here and make a statement. And you put CJ Carr in or Kenny Minchie, and I just don't see the game plan changing at all. You try and push the ball down the field one time, it's underthrown by 15 yards. He hasn't thrown. I don't think this is a Denbrock problem. at all. The guy did not forget how to coach. I think Marcus Freeman sticks to what his early 2000s mentor, Jim Tressel, has put into his head, is run the ball and stop the run. And I don't think it matters who we had at quarterback. Now, Riley Leonard didn't have a great game. I understand that. But he looked at some point like he wasn't scared to play, but he looked lost. If you watch the sidelines, Riley Leonard was in a daze. He had no confidence. And then you looked at Marcus Freeman, and he looked like he was almost in a daze. And then he had an analytic guy follow him around with some kind of piece of paper.
I saw that
around
all day. Dude, all day they kept zooming. All day they were zooming in on that guy, giving him all of what to do here and what to do there. Have I not noticed that before? Did they just zoom in? And I noticed it all day that he kept turning around to the guy, giving him the stats. Oh, if it's 4th and 1, do this or do that. I've never seen that guy before.
He was looking for him too. I think he pushed like Al Washington out of the way, and he's waving him down the field. And
I saw that too. Yeah,
I cut it real quick.
Oh,
I don't know what that was all about.
What a nightmare!
But as the game crept on, you started getting that feeling as a Notre Dame fan. We've been down this road, and there's just it just didn't change, and there was no sense of urgency at all. And Jeremiah Love, I am praying that boy does not hit the portal at the end of the year, because he got, how many touches did he get today? Not too many. Hurdles a guy, stiff arms a guy, and runs for a touchdown. And the following, how many possessions?
Love at 11 carries. Love at 11 carries. Price had 4. Riley Leonard had 11. Other people had 1. That was the split.
Jeremiah Love might be the best running back you've had.
Congratulations, Notre Dame. You ran it for 123 yards against Northern Illinois. Congratulations.
Illinois.
Good job.
And he might be the best running back since, oh, God.
Well, you're wasting them. Well, you're wasting them. So good job. Because you could have just kept handing it to him nonstop and got a better result than whatever you were trying to do. I don't understand. I just don't.
You go to Bo Collins. You go to Bo Collins. You're moving the chains. You're up by 1 point. So all we want to do is get down and make this more than a field goal lead. Because I don't think Northern Illinois is going to score a touchdown, especially in the red zone with that Notre Dame defense. And it's 2nd and 1. I get it. You want to take a shot. You want to go downfield. But he's just
you could take a shot, but it just couldn't look like that. Like unbelievable.
You either overthrow it into the, you either throw that ball so far that Chris Mitchell, who runs a 4.3, a verified 4.3, allegedly, he might. You could throw that ball so far either he catches it or someone in the stands catches it, or it's a touchdown.
Yeah, it's rough.
But you're going to leave that ball 15 yards short.
It's
15 yards short. And
it's a rough one, man.
It's so agitating.
I know. Yeah.
And I hate to see it because the whole Brian Kelly era, you see him standing on the sidelines and he makes excuses and he's screaming and he's yelling and everything. And Freeman really wants the best for the kids. He wants the best for the university. He wants the best for Notre Dame. And it just, I don't know if he's such a defensive guy that he doesn't, but the offense there's no way these guys regress this much.
Yeah.
Coaches and players.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. I don't know. There's a lot to dig out of. I don't know where you go from here and how you start to do it and build any trust and momentum again. Anything on the way out, man? Thanks for the call.
No, Johnny, that's all I had for tonight. I appreciate you, buddy.
No problem, man. Hang in there. Watch some NFL tomorrow. Thanks for the call. I do appreciate you. 857, you donated as well. What's going on?
Sorry, am I on?
Yep.
Hello?
Yep, you're on.
Oh, yeah. I just want to talk about Denbrock. I mean, this guy.
you can't play an offense when you don't know what you have. And I'm looking at Colorado, Nebraska right now, and Colorado's getting whooped. But at least I know that Shedeur can hit like a 15-yard in cut, a crosser. I don't know with this Notre Dame offense. Like, are the receivers allowed to do double moves? I didn't see one route. Maybe I know people will do the all 22 later, but like, do they have route concepts that let them go past like 10, 12 yards? Or are they that scared? Who are they scared of? Are they scared of the line not holding up? I know they had I saw Knapp missed a block. I think I saw our right tackle missed a block, but they look decent in pass pro. So are we that scared of our O-line? Are we that scared of Leonard and his arm talent or not? I mean, it's so schematically confused. Because if we think all we have with Leonard is frankly at this point just a running quarterback, like let's go old school Josh Nesbitt, Georgia Tech. Let's play like the Service Academies. But let's not do this halfway crook thing where we do 6 yards, 7 yards to get that established, kind of, but then we go away from it to run Love. Love got one touch after the touchdown.
Yep.
One touch. It's like, but so we're not really committed to the run. We're not really committed to the game. And we're 2 games in. I don't even know. Maybe Leonard's actually not that bad, but I don't know if Riley Leonard can hit a 20, 25-yard corner. I don't know if he can hit a 25-yard post. That's a crazy thing to think about. A marquee national top 5 program, and you don't know if your quarterback can hit that. Forget the defense. I don't know if he can hit it against turf right now. And Denbrock, look, he's been a green teamer before, 3rd stint. Take LSU out, and I hate to say it, I don't want to be harsh, but he's a journeyman. He really is. He was not in, if you take out Jaden Daniels, is he in the top 5, top 10 candidates you'd want to replace Parker? Like, if Jaden Daniels didn't exist, is Mike Denbrock in the top 10 candidates for Notre Dame offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it's a good question. I also see somebody reminding people that Leonard has 0 passing touchdowns in 8 quarters now. And I just don't think that's what anybody had in mind. I know he's you like what he does with his legs and that big body, but I don't think that's what anybody has in mind when you're going to the portal and paying that money to bring a guy in. That tells you trust that guy more than what you already have in the building. And here we are, 2 full games, and you can't get a passing touchdown. It's just.
But even Duke had a style of play with him, right? Even Duke, you knew the 2 things, the 2 ways they were going to use Leonard. You knew the certain kinds of passes. It wasn't like he was, I don't know, Quinn Ewers out there, but like you knew the kinds of ways he was going to get used at Duke, and they were consistent with that because that team had a style of play under Elko and under is it Johns, the offensive coordinator there at the time. Like you knew they had a style of play. Right now, the Notre Dame offense, and that's a soccer term, but right now the Notre Dame offense has no identity, has no style of play, and I can't evaluate players when the scheme is so confused. It's a schizophrenic scheme. And like, honestly, like we looked like there was Northern Illinois on one side, and then that was the Northeast version of Iowa on the other. That's not an offense I recognized. We wouldn't win by 4 touchdowns. We couldn't. I don't know if we could score 5 touchdowns in scrimmage. Like that's the extent to which this team is lost in terms of its offensive identity.
Oh man, it's just there's so many problems now. That's the other issue. There's so many questions and problems now. It's almost like, where do you even begin to start to reconstruct? Like, that's the other problem I have. I have 10 different problems all blinking in my head all at the same time. And there's no, this is just, it's the one it couldn't be. And it's the one you got. And it's so Notre Dame-y. I want to punch myself in the face. It is so
at least with the
Notre Dame-y.
At least with the system, you know if it works or not, right? Like if they went out there and they were like, for whatever reason, they went 5 wide and ran and gun, and then Riley Leonard stunk it up. Then it's like, oh, I have a sample size of like 12 throws that he missed up. We have 1 shot to Greathouse that he dropped. That was perfect. That's a pass that was actually perfect from Leonard. And then we obviously have the awful pass where he just didn't. He said it was a bad read after the game. That was weird. I think the read was fine. I just think the pass was the worst thing in the world. It was a dead duck. But like I think that like when you don't have an identity, I'm hearing now, Denbrock was saying before the game that, oh, we know what Leonard is.
He's a runner, and like maybe he can throw a bit. Really? I mean, that's something I expect out of a Navy quarterback. Maybe he doesn't know what his quarterback is.
Yeah, but
Like,
even
what-
that,
like,
but
what
even
is the-
but even if you believe that, they went run heavy with him early and then got away from it, but nothing else was working either. That didn't even line up.
Right.
Dude, what a
And
freaking mess.
It was so funny because
What a
those-
mess.
because,
Just
like,
a
you know how
total mess.
And those plays are scripted, right? The first 15 are scripted. So you know that was part of the game plan. And so it's like, oh, we're going to run him. And he got decent games. I don't think it was incredible. But then we ran Love, and he did well. Then, for whatever reason, we ran Price right after Love was on a heater. That doesn't make it. I mean, Price is great. He's a fantastic person to have in the stable. But, like, there's no – not only is it internally inconsistent, like everyone's pointing out, like not only is the end of the game and the middle of the game completely different from the start of the game, there's no identity. You give me these buttermilk teams like Wisconsin and Nebraska, or I guess before this here, Nebraska or Iowa, I know what they are. You give me the Surface Academies, I know what they are. You give me Georgia, I know what they are. You give me LSU when they had Jaden Daniels, I know what they are. I don't know what Notre Dame wants to be.
Yeah.
Forget what they are.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the Notre Dame goal is on offense.
That's a really that's a good point. They're like perpetually in between everything, and that means you're nowhere. You know what I mean? When you're in between everywhere, you're nowhere. Yeah. Like it's so frustrating. Right. Anything else, man? Good call. Thank you. This was a good call. Thanks.
I mean, there's little things. I would say I'm frustrated by the special teams too. I don't know why our kicker can only hit line drives when they're long. I don't know if the punter needs to get his head right or what. And on defense, I'll just say the defensive tackles. Notre Dame doesn't have a good defense. Okay, Notre Dame has an elite secondary and like good Power 5 linebackers. They don't have a defensive line. I can't tell you one member of the defensive line. Shout out to Osbury though. I will say, of the linebacker crew, Kaiser, I washed himself out a couple times. Shout out to Osbury on that side of the ball. He at least showed some heart. He was one of the people. There was one drive where he competed on 5 straight downs. That's a kid who mentally has it. And very few people on coaching staff, especially, but players and coaching staff had it today.
Yeah, it's man, rough day in Notre Dame land. Good call from you, man. Thank you. Thanks for the donation too. Thank you.
Yep,
have a good one. Oh boy. All right, you guys. I got to wrap this up. And listen, here's the deal. I feel bad. There's a bunch of callers. There's still a full bank of calls. I'm at 3 hours and 15 minutes. I have other content obligations I got to do. I got to write a bunch of articles. I got to record a video for tomorrow. It's going to be a long night. Believe me, you guys, I tried to go through as many calls as I could. I mean, we made it through 60 something calls, whatever. It has been 3 hours and 15 minutes of misery. And I felt obligated to give you guys a platform and to let you guys vent as much as I could. I'm really sorry, but there's only so much I could take before I'm going to lose my mind too. Somebody says John looks how Notre Dame played. By now I'm sure I do. And so I want to say thank you to everybody that's here. Even people trolling me, I deserve it. Totally deserve it. That's what I signed up for when I wanted to do this and be a face of this. And I went after LSU. I went after Florida State last week. I did all that. I went after Michigan this morning. I deserve everything that comes back to me for running my stupid Notre Dame mouth. So I'm fine with all of that. I wanted to give you guys a platform tonight. I appreciate all of the chats. I appreciate all of the calls, all of the donations. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know where we go from here, man. This is a dark, dark place. One that I did not expect to be in at this point this year. And I don't know where you go from here, but it's going to be a really tough, long week. Blake Holm says, lame. This is so lame. Well, you've been watching lame for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So give me a break, man. So anyways, God bless you guys. And here's the other thing. Here's a final statement I'm going to say. I really hope anybody that was considering going to my tailgate in a couple weeks for Miami, Ohio, I really hope you still consider going and don't just flush your tickets or give them away or whatever. Anybody that was still going to come that weekend, I hope you still consider it. We're going to have fun. And even if we're frustrated, we're going to be together. And if I'm frustrated, I'd rather be with people that understand where I'm coming from. The least we could do is get together in that parking lot and drink some beers together. And I really hope everybody who was considering going still does, because I want to see everybody. But I'm not going to lie, this ruins a lot of the vibe. It ruins a lot of the vibe. Ronald McDonald says he's not going. Well, if you were, bring me some cheeseburgers, buddy, and a Big Mac or something. All right, you guys, thanks for the donations. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for all that stuff. You guys are great, and I love you, even though we're all miserable. Video coming out in the morning. I'm going to write articles late into the night tonight, so we're going to be full of articles at Sports Illustrated. Video in the morning going over the misery. We'll get back to the call-in show Monday, and we'll see how we feel then. God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging with me, man. Really, really tough situation. Commander, I really don't know what you're talking about, and I'm not in the mood. I'm really not in the mood. I don't know your number. The number doesn't say Commander Luke. There's 8 million numbers that all start with your area code. It's nothing personal. Good night.